Probably our worst one that we ever had was we had to do Theater of the Mind, like a good 30 minutes of session because Roll20 went down.
Yeah, you could Theater of the Mind it. It's probably a little weird with all different when you get to technical aspects of the room, but you could probably do it okay. Oh yeah, for the stream's benefit too.
All right. That should be everything, I believe. So, I think everything's fixed now.
Yeah.
We got the cameras back in the right order. We got them all back on. We got everything reconnected. It takes a second to fix when it goes down midstream because I have to refinagle a bunch of things to get it all back on. There's a lot of moving parts in OBS, especially when you're working with multiple cameras. So, since we're on my channel, I didn't bother turning this
Hey, do you need
off.
an arc? Cause I know a guy Kappa.
Because we're not on Paizo, so screw it. Problem Officer, 62 months. You were the shiniest, Squidling. Thank you for the over 5 years. So, where were we?
You know what my favorite part about being on this channel is?
That you can say fuck?
Fuck!
You can swear again. We're not restricted by the binds of a PG-13 rating on the Paizo channel. I can have my notifier on. Mostly because I literally don't know how to turn my notifier off. I asked Hexy, but then she never got back to me. I literally don't know how to mute my notifier without building an entirely different scene setup in OBS, which I didn't have a chance to do yet, so I literally can't turn it off. So it's on. Even if it's not in the scene, you'll still hear it. Even if no part of Stream Labels is open, you'll still hear it. The Stream Labels, it does whatever the fuck it wants. So, where we were was we had half over here of an old party and half of a new party. I sent you on Discord. You didn't ever reply to it. I then probably asked you 15 more questions because that's, I don't know how to do anything. But we're going to play some fucking Pathfinder. We're doing it. We're getting into the Pathfinder. So we have what I like to call Imperial Guardsmen. 4 level 1 characters, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, ready to go on an adventure for like 100 gold points apiece.
I'm not a guardsman, I'm a cleric.
Wait. I thought we were talking 500 each.
No. No.
What's wrong with us?
There's definitely no each at the end of that statement. And it's been a minute because we've actually gotten relatively high up in War for the Crown. We're at level 10 now. We'll be going into our next session.
Movers and shakers.
Can't we just say that they took our dog? That's like more motivation than 100 gold.
100 gold is a lot of money, to be fair, because in the grand scheme of things,
but it's my dog.
I think the comparison I've usually seen is a gold piece. The best anyone can fucking divine by Pathfinder's fucked up economy is approximately $75.
So many chickens.
Yeah, like 100 gold is a lot of money. That is more money than most people ever see, which is why adventurous level 1 characters,
Desperate
level 1 characters. How does it be desperate? It's a lot of money. Your odds are win the lottery or accept this job from the Church of Pharasma and hope that you live to tell the tale. So,
I mean, in all honesty, like if you're a wizard, your chances of dying in your house from your house cat are just as high. So why not go out and make some money?
You're really on the house cats killing low-level characters thing. That's not wrong though. It's not wrong. Low-level weight of dice will kill the hell out of you. And house cats have 3 attacks, I think. Is it bite, claw, claw?
Yeah.
Honestly, our 1/3 creature. Yeah, they'll kill the fuck out of you. House cat will maul a peasant. Sometimes. But it's been a minute since we've experienced the glory of AC 15 and +2 to hit, and going multiple rounds with nobody managing to land a blow on anybody at anywhere in the combat because all of the general modifiers are so goddamn low.
We did a pretty good job yesterday of not hitting anything for like 7 rounds in a row.
Well, to be fair, that's because Zan was invisible for the vast majority of the time. But I mean, yeah, that also didn't go great, but that was...
And I'll have you know, I'm AC 17.
Ooh, that's pretty high. People are gonna need like 16s to hit you for your average for level 1 encounters.
Hey.
So let's go around the table here because this is not War for the Crown, obviously, even though we have two of the same people. This is an entirely new group. And let's do some introductions. So these 4 friends for this particular adventure, you want money. And you have found a job posting in your local, I don't know, tavern of choice from the Church of Pharasma. To report to the Godsmouth Cathedral in the Bottoms district of Kaer Maga. I don't know if you all live in Kaer Maga or a 500 gold bounty, honestly, is probably enough to draw people from further beyond. It's not enough to inspire super high level characters, but enough to get a whole bunch of level 1s to maybe migrate over here. And you 4 decided to take up this offer. So, Dick, let's start with you. Who are you, and what do you do?
Well, my name is Dick Godsmouth. I have an illustrious beard, and I'm a halfling. I stand at a proud 2 foot 8 inches. And I normally just throw bombs at people. That's basically all I do. I'm really good at throwing bombs and running away very fast.
I
It's
approve.
got an equally illustrious friggin' mustache. I would argue the mustache is way more glorious than the beard is. It's fucking fantastic.
I tend to it quite a bit.
All right. Is it term or like termy or tierme or
Tierm.
tierm? Oh,
No,
none
the
of those
E.
are right. I had 4
Yeah.
guesses and they were literally all wrong. Tierm. What do you do? Who are you?
Tierm Ironbeard, raised by dwarves, worshipper of Gorum, here to smite the undead and make my keep.
I just want to kill shit, honestly.
Yeah.
They can already be pre-dead shit, that's fine, but I mean, getting paid to go probably die is something Gorum would very much approve of.
One way or another, I win in the end.
You either get 125 gold, or you get a sick afterlife. You know, win-win situation. Maverick, let's jump across here.
Maverick Dawn, the deposed scion of a wealthy mercantile house, displaced by his aunt, robbed of his fortune, thrown onto the streets, where he will have no choice but to try to rebuild his fortune from zero, from the ground up. And diving into a tomb full of horrors is probably a great way to do it. He's going to bring some friends along because you got to step on some people along the way. But he'll feel bad about it afterwards, so he's
You
not
get
a
to
bad
put people in front of you to get smacked instead of you. All right, last up, Rena, our Oracle. An interesting character class that we have not seen since Skull and Shackles here on this channel. What's up?
The fact of the matter is, I don't know who I am. I don't know where I'm from.
Me.
I don't remember anything.
That is
I
Oracles.
just remember waking up, hearing voices in my head telling me that I was on a mission. And I'm really not sure what that mission is, but the voices tell me when I'm going in the right direction. I think.
Yeah.
And, you know, they usually lead me nice places. I mean, I make money sometimes.
Well,
I get hurt.
this might be in the make you money pile, but it is most definitely not going to be in the bucket of nice places, that is to be sure. I can tell you that much.
It's okay. The ancient star beings that inhabit my mind often send me dangerous places.
The 4 of you have come together to the Godsmouth Cathedral on the edge of Kaer Maga, a city perched upon an ancient mountain, atop cyclopean ruins and labyrinthine tunnels underneath that remain unexplored to this day. Most people that try to go below the first few levels underneath Kaer Maga end up running afoul of either wandering monstrosities or latent Cyclops magic. Again, something we've experienced in Skull and Shackles. They're not a good time. Cyclops magic usually ends well for exactly nobody. But the 4 of you have a meeting with one Pharasman priest about your job. And here at midnight, you are introduced to Valanth Nerisia.
Can't even say how much I don't trust this guy.
I think it's a she.
I don't trust her either.
Definitely a woman. Valanth greets all of you very briefly before getting directly into business, escorting you out into a small side chapel dedicated to an ancient martyred saint. I'm sorry we couldn't put more details in the posting, but we've had an issue with the ossuary beneath the crypts. Bodies have gone missing. Don't have much information as to why or how, but I don't imagine that's what brought you here in the first place. 500 gold to the group of you for stopping whatever is behind the disappearing bodies, and if you can clear out the first levels of the ossuary of any monsters or threats, an additional 250 on top of that.
So with
It's
these
fine by me.
were these bodies like dead bodies? Were they recently dead bodies, like guard people?
Because if they've been dead for longer, we're gonna need like a bad smell incentive.
And if they were live bodies, I think I know why they're not there anymore.
Consider a portion of your payment discretion. We're hiring you to investigate the problem, not to ask questions.
But that's part of investigating.
I've already told you all that we know. There's very little we can do to assist you. There are a few levels of the ossuary that we use. The one immediately beneath this cathedral, where the clerics and the interrs work with recent cadavers and prepare them, and the 2 levels below that, where bodies have been long laid to rest. Fortunately, the uppermost level is still fully operational and has seen no interruption of service, but it's the levels below that are missing the cadavers.
It's a pretty small body of knowledge we have to work with.
That's why the pay is as high. I've no idea what exactly you'll be dealing with or what could be causing this, but if you can get it dealt with, this is a small fortune.
And maybe some corpsicles.
It will go a long way to reclaiming my family's honor.
It goes without saying
Undead.
that we would prefer that you do not interfere with the resting of any of the bodies still left down in the ossuary, but any valuables or items you found in these sealed crypts, you are free to keep.
Magpie, check.
Barring obvious relics from our church or idols of Pharasma.
Of course.
Where do we tell?
Now, are
Or
you
you
prepared?
look at that symbol that she has there, and you don't touch it.
He just holds up the small silver spiral necklace she has. It's the symbol
I'm
of our
gonna
faith.
draw that.
I'd be surprised you don't recognize it. Anything marked with this needs to stay as it is. It's part of the funerary rites.
Gotcha.
Anything else that may have made its way into the ossuary, you're free to take. Now, are you prepared to depart?
Yeah.
We have everything we need.
Right now.
Not quite everything.
No,
Follow
the
me.
symbol was a dead giveaway.
And she takes you out of this small side chapel and outside to the edge, the outer wall of Kaer Maga, to a narrow, twisting cliffside path leading down around the outside of the plateau. The mountain the city is perched on is an intricate and massive artifact unto itself. Carvings of huge faces and bodies that may be ancient cyclopes, may be something completely not understood, even in this day. Research has been done into it, but as per the levels below, much real investigation into where you would learn anything about these carvings is generally results in death. But the ossuary is in the upper levels of these catacombs, and this path twists down into one of the massive gaping mouths of one of the many faces carved around the outside of the plateau. The passage leads in through the mouth of the unnamed king and in the ossuary proper, where immediately the light darkens and is only provided by scattered candles and sconces throughout the ossuary. Robed and hooded Pharasman priests, dressed in black and silver, silently do their work, tending to the recently deceased. And Valanth leads you through some very luxuriously appointed catacombs, many with a swath of vacancies. And does anybody have a knowledge local, out of curiosity?
I'm not from around these parts.
I actually.
I do.
No, that's a base in. That's a base in check. No, probably not.
If anyone's got Dick's
Dick.
from here. With a 15 on your knowledge local, you would know that this ossuary is highly prestigious. People pay their entire fortunes to have their bodies interred here, underneath the heart of Pharasman worship in Kaer Maga and even in most of Varisia. They're well tended to, it's very well appointed, and beyond extravagant.
This is where I want to retire.
And as you're led through here, you pass through these catacombs and down several almost random errant staircases before you emerge into an area that sees very little use. It looks much more like a standard crypt, with slots along the walls for cadavers, most of which are empty, dusted. The air is very musty and close, and a pall of almost complete silence falls over. It's really nothing but your own footsteps as you continue. It's not long through this disused portion of the crypt before Valant stops before a locked door and turns back to address the group of you. This is the only known entrance to the sealed lower portions of the ossuary. Very rarely have reasons to frequent this, but these troubles have caused us obvious alarm. Now, once you enter, the door will be locked and sealed behind you.
What? Wait, what? Why?
We cannot leave it open. We don't know what's down there or what threat it may pose to our clerics of the church. If you wish to turn away, this is your moment.
How do we get back out when the job is done?
Yeah, you knock.
I have several things for you. And she reaches down to a pocket of her robe and pulls out about a foot-long tube made of a bright, shining metal. Almost silver, but with a bluish tinge. Anyone got knowledge engineering? Or appraise? Or spellcraft?
I mean, appraise is untrained.
Hey, yeah,
I
anyone can
those.
just roll appraise. You can just do that. That's a... Oh, there you go. Dick just gets a nice natural 20 on knowledge engineering. You are super familiar with this. It's a tube made of mithril. A fairly uncommon but very powerful and lightweight material. That apparently you are extremely well versed in with a 23 on knowledge engineering. You know what mithril is, and you're able to recognize it immediately. Valant continues. This is the chime of opening. It only has about 5 uses of the magic left inside it, but ring it outside of a locked door and it will open before you. This will even overcome the magical seals across most of the doors in the lower level of the crypt that we're aware of. Make sure you retain 1 charge to be able to escape. We can't respond to knocking as we don't know its source. And hands the chime over. Who's taking the chime?
I'll take it.
I have one more thing as well. Consider this an upfront payment. And produces a small bag, only about the size of a hand. But
Whoa,
then
it's a bag.
Proceeds to pull bottle after bottle out of it. Clearly more than what would visibly fit inside the confines of this velvet pouch. She distributes these bottles in round, clear glass filled with a bright red liquid, one to each of you. If necessary, these healing potions should hopefully be of assistance. And you each get 1 potion of Cure Light Wounds. Clearly labeled. Now, do you have any final questions before I unlock this door?
This door is kept under watch, so we know for a fact the bodies weren't smuggled out through it.
The only way to get out from this level of the crypt from this door is back up through the operational portions of the ossuary. Surely somebody would have noticed. The bodies aren't escaping from here.
I'll just have to make sure to lay them back to rest then.
Do whatever you must, but if you can address the problem and stop the source of whatever this is, your fortune awaits you upon your return. Remember, keep a charge in that chime, or you won't be able to get your way back out. With that, she pulls out a large silver key, the head of which is another one of the spirals, just like her necklace, and unlatches a massive stone lock in the center of this door. And with a grating sound, the door slowly slides out of the way. And she just simply gestures to the darkness below. I may recommend torches or light spells if you have simple magic. There shouldn't be any light in the ossuary.
I'll use light.
Yep. Slapping light on my greatsword.
So you two real quickly go ahead and just use a couple of quick light spells to give yourself something. Are we heading in?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Let's check it
Well,
out.
nobody ever made their fortune standing still. Wait.
Into the depths of the Godsmouth Ossuary we go.
I don't like the fact that it's called God's Mouth. Why couldn't it have been called, the rose petals vine entrance?
Oh, I don't have, right, I need to give myself vision on all of your tokens because I can't see out of your eyes, and I should be able to see out of your eyes.
Oh no,
creepy.
the monsters are all blind.
I mean, I can see on mine, but the stream can't see anything.
Ah, well, that's no good.
Oh, I know what it is. It's controlled by is what I gotta go into. That's what I gotta change. Maybe controlled by. Yep. And then let me put this on here. Give me 1 second, chat. I skipped a step in the first roll 20 setup. There are so many steps. And let me give it on you. It'll show up here in a second. I just have to finish all of this, but it's gonna be a black screen until then. And let me put it on you. You guys can see though, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. Then I think I just need to replace the tokens real quick, and there we are. Perfect. This is the Godsmouth Ossuary. And as you descend the small spiral metal staircase to the first room, you find yourselves in a fairly simple chamber. A double door is exiting to the west, the north, and the east. The walls of this chamber are covered in old carvings, thick with dust and cobwebs. And heavy bronze seals emblazoned with that same spiral symbol secure all 3 of the doors.
I guess that makes sense on why they're willing to pay us so much to be down here, given how well appointed the crypts above us were.
The Church of Pharasma definitely has some money. They are not poor.
As long as their money's good, I don't mind spending a day or two down here cleaning up a mess. I say as I walk towards the door to our right.
Maybe you should let me check that first.
I'm not opening it, I'm just looking at it.
Well, I guess here, you check that side, I'll check this side, and we'll see what we can find out. I'm just going to go give the door a look-see, see if it's locked, check for simple traps, things of that nature.
All right, so give me a perception check. And,
I'm doing the same thing with my door, just looking over it.
on the eastern door, a 13 from Tierm, and then a 9 for traps from, do you have a... Wait, Oracle's not a spell failure transferring armor, do they?
I'm pretty sure they're just like clerics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't actually, you can just tell me you're using detect magic. You don't have to worry about actually like clicking that because there's nothing that rolls or anything. You can just say, I want to swing a detect magic on the room or something. You can do that.
I would like to use detect magic on these doors.
So, as you use your magic to look around and Maverick and Tim use their eyes, Dick, what are you doing?
I'm just going to
Dick around.
well, dig around mostly. I suppose I should walk forward, but I feel like I can see most everything from here, and I reach on the side, and I get this little wooden slats here, and I shake it out, and some steps go into the ground in front of me, and I just walk up the steps, just look around the room for a bit, and try and see what I can see from right here.
Get a
Your
few
halfling has a
inches.
collapsible step ladder. I love it.
Can you scratch
Get him-
my back while you're
Get
up there?
himself a few inches higher. So, Tierm and Maverick, as you both check over your doors, neither of you see any kind of a. I need to move my face cam slightly because it's coming all down.
And you fall off the ladder.
No, that was me looking around.
Neither of you see any kind of traps or anything on the doors, but both of you can easily tell that the doors are locked. With the detect magic, and Dick is too busy fucking with his collapsible staircase. He doesn't see anything with the natural one, the 8 on perception. With your detect magic, Rena, I gotta relearn all these new names. Rena, you detect a minor aura of abjuration on, I believe, all 3 of the doors? Yes, all 3 of the doors. Dick, why don't you give me a knowledge history while you're looking around, because you clearly can't see anything other than the walls themselves here.
The doors possess a pretty faint magical aura.
8.
Looking around, it looks... most of these carvings are... well, they're almost all over the place. There's not any real consistency to what there is. There's humanoid figures, much more abstract symbols, things you can't really make heads or tails of.
Yes, I read a book at some point about these, but I can't remember any of it.
Must have been fascinating.
It was not, actually.
The creepy priest girl said that we needed to leave at least one use of the tube to get out. There's 5 in there. It leads me to believe that we might have to use a couple of them to get down.
Well, possibly, but let's not go wasting our resources if we don't have to. Let me see if we can jimmy this open here. I'll have you know that my family comes from a long line of well-versed engineers, and their supple fingers have passed on to me, their scion.
What you're saying is you're going to pick the lock.
Yes, I'm going to pick the lock.
So your family were... Yeah, I always thought they were thieves.
You seem...
Engineers, thank you. I'll examine. Is there a keyhole, or does there appear to be a mechanical seal on these doors?
As a rogue, I'm pretty sure you inherently get the ability to pick magical locks, correct?
I think, and I hate to stab myself like this, but I think what I technically get is the ability to disable magical traps, technically. I'll let you as the GM determine whether or not that also applies to magical locks.
I'll go ahead and give it to you. I don't... yeah, it is a trap finding and on magical traps. I'll go ahead and say that probably also extends to locks too. I think technically all magical luck can be picked through some manner of mundane means, because they all still have some amount of mundane mechanism. You can tell there is a magical seal protecting this door more than a proper mechanical lock, but it's something still that you could possibly pick.
Okay, well, let me see if I can go ahead and bypass it.
Right. So you can either roll disable device, or, disable device is like the poster child for taking 20. It's up to you.
Goodness gracious, all of my really good hunkin' skills are armor check penalties. I guess I'll keep the armor on a little bit longer.
It is pretty hard to finesse the tools properly with gauntlets on your hands.
My studded leather gauntlets.
Studded leather gauntlets, yeah.
The problem is you have lobster claws.
I have lobster claws.
Realistic, you have studded leather mittens. No, you do definitely have. I'm sure there are gloves as a part of the studded leather armor for sure.
They're like oven mitts. All right. If I take 10, it's a 16.
Taking 10, just giving it one average attempt with a 16, you're unable to work the whatever magical mechanism there is. You probing it, but you can't quite find a way to get it to give.
Okay. So I guess I can take 20 and jimmy it open then. That's 26.
And so you take a little bit longer, put your whole effort into it, and with a sound mechanical click from some portion of this lock, the magical seal separates, allowing you to open the door. Now you guys can hear the sound effects, right?
I was kind of hoping there'd actually be a seal there.
Seal of approval?
No, just like a magical seal that could be adorable.
I'm assuming are we opening the door?
Yes. I'm going to open it slowly and peek through because I'm a cautious rogue and all that. But yes, we are opening it.
You open this, you can see that it gives way into a fairly short little hallway. There's another set of double doors about 30 feet in front of you, but the hallway also looks like it bends around to the left.
I guess we can check it out. I guess I'll try to sneak down and just peer around the corner.
All right, so what we do with stealth checks, I don't know what you have done historically, but with stealth specifically, I've found it is completely impossible to roll your own stealth check and not to some degree metagame it. So I roll stealth checks for you, and then you just are sneaking. Or the other way, if you would rather roll it yourself, because I know it feels like you don't get to roll the dice, we can wait to roll it until there's an opposed perception check, and you can roll it then. But either way, the point is you don't know what you got because you're doing your best.
I know.
No, that makes sense.
I like that actually.
Okay, so I've rolled a stealth check for you.
I'm not that sneaky, but
You can
hopefully they don't
see it
realize
because
that.
Yeah, we're
used
not-
it
we're
off.
not supposed
Yeah,
to-
I used it off your character sheet, so it didn't GM roll it actually. I don't have my.
It
I
was a
usually
good
have a
thought.
macro that does it automatically, but hey, you're not very sneaky. The rest of the party sees him.
Walk in.
What's Emperor's New Groove? What's that guy's name? Not Kuzco.
Gronk.
Kronk.
Yeah.
This is Kronk sneaking down the wall right now.
Hi.
But I forgot if I just do it off your character sheet, it's not going to GM roll it, so I'll just do a manual GM roll in the future. But that's the system. Then you won't see it. Make
So
your way to the
we're around
corner.
in a semi-obvious manner.
Roll 20. You can hold Alt to move your token slightly off of an actual of a square, but without a source of light, you have low light vision, but it's still complete darkness around this corner.
Ah, that is fair. Okay.
Yeah, your low light vision is working. You can see twice as far as everyone, but there is no light over there, so it doesn't help you. Someone with a light source has to come.
We don't have any no light vision.
Yeah, nobody
Nope.
has dark vision in this party.
All right. Well, I guess we'll. I'll try to. I'll wave Tierme down the hall. Is it Tierme or is it Term?
Tierm.
Tierm.
I'll
It's a
wave
combination
Tierme
of the
down
two.
It's actually, I'm going to get it wrong about a billion times too. So Tim, with the light spell glowing from his greatsword, the handprint where he had touched it, comes around the corner, and the light, as he approaches, reveals a strange statue of a half-snake, half-human creature standing in a wide alcove. The hallway does not appear to proceed any further than that. The statue has 6 wings and a disc with a 7-pointed star in place of a head. Its crossed arms hold a quill and a whip, and you can barely see a faint outline of strange runes beneath the coating of the statue.
I'll detect magic it and yell over, "Hey Dick, come take a look at this."
And so with the quick detect magic spell, you will absolutely pick up some magic, but as per always, I have to... It's actually a multitude of minor auras layered over each other, almost from all schools of magic.
Anything? What? How about the runes?
The runes themselves gives me a knowledge religion.
I want to move yourself into the hallway.
Also, yeah, you're definitely still back in the first turn. I'll bring you up here.
Sorry.
There would be a knowledge religion. The runes wouldn't immediately mean anything unless somebody has that. Oh, we have a couple, but Dick with a 12, Rena with a 3. Neither of you recognize them at all. Nor do you recognize the figure that the statue represents.
I should say it looks like a snake with wings of some sort.
You have hit the nail on the head there, good sir.
Thank
Well,
you.
whatever it is, it doesn't seem like it's of interest to us.
Hmm.
But I kind of want to touch it.
Well,
Oh, you're welcome to it.
Yes. Well, I've got to be going.
In a different direction.
All right. I'll guess we'll move on. Come to think of it, the spirits are telling me it's probably not a good idea.
So there is a second set of double doors to the left of this room. So the hall, I don't know if you guys can see that ping. I'm not seeing it on my other screen for some reason.
I can't see it too well. It's kind of cut off.
It's because it's white.
Gotcha.
Yeah. There is a door.
Wow.
This hallway does continue straight forward.
Oh, it does.
But there are, of course, the 2 other doors as well. Yeah, the doors, this is a much older module. The doors are very small. It was really hard to set up dynamic lighting so that you could still see that there was a door there. But
I'm
there is
interested in this
a
one.
set of double doors there.
Let's check it out.
You
Is that one locked too, or is it?
This one is not locked.
I'm gonna push it on open, figure out it's not locked, and deal with the consequences.
Tierme, as he gently nudges this second set of double doors,
Welcome,
and it glides open.
Squidling, to the
Diablo
swimming
Void,
pool.
thank you for the sub. I'm going to do kind of
Blum.
shorter sub shout-outs here while we're doing this. But you see yet another hallway that proceeds to an intersection at its termination ahead of you, but also has offshoots and doors to either side.
So just kind of moseying on up to the corner, taking a peek around, not really seeing much of anything.
Well, as you
waving
come to the
everyone
corner, you
forward.
would definitely, we don't see anything specifically, but you certainly see that there is a source of light down the hallway to your right.
As I walk by this snake thing, I'm going to uncork, just sneaky uncork bottle and drink it real quick. It's mutagen.
All right. So mutagen does have a bit of a visual effect. So if anyone looks back, Dick would be a little,
Well, I'm in the back.
leaner. Yeah.
Yeah, no one's looking backwards right now.
Yeah, no, you go. Sneaky mutagen. No one saw that. As you turn around the corner, you can see a lone, abandoned torch
You don't have to be ashamed of your drinking problem.
smoldering in the hallway to the north, and a long hall that goes further than you can see, with doors repeated at intervals down either side.
Well, not further than I can see.
I really hate
Not further, yeah, Maverick can see the end of the hall, actually, with your friggin' low-light elf eyes. You can see the end of the hall. And you would see the end of the hall is approximately, well, like 100 feet away. It's pretty far, actually. It's a pretty long hall. Did anyone have knowledge dungeoneering?
I have knowledge dungeoneering.
Give me one of those.
I also.
That was not local area dungeoneering. Yeah, 9.
Nines, honestly, it's even with a 9, you would probably realize this smoldering torch in the hall, for it to still be lit, must have been abandoned very recently. These kind of oil torches only burn for at most an hour.
The torch is recent. There might be someone must have dropped it recently. But,
I don't really like this. I think this is an inside job.
I'm
Where are you?
not.
Oh, you're standing on top of each other. I was like, why are there only 3 tokens here? I was confused for a second. You're good.
I'm not a fan of large hallways with no cover.
are there doors down the side? That's what it looks like there are.
Yes, there are doors about every. There's about 20 feet in front of you, then like every 30 feet or so, there is another pair of doors. All
I'm
the
not
way
really a
down the
fan of
length of
doors
the hall.
either.
There's also a door right behind you, Maverick, here on your left, as well as the hallway ahead of you seems to form a T intersection heading both north and south. There are many directions you can go from here, especially because there's 2 more doors back in the first room. This is a very open crawl.
Okay.
If we happen to get ambushed at some point, this is a good fallback point.
Okay, so you want to leave, we can explore to the left where it's dark and leave the torch here as something that we can come back to?
Yes.
That's something
Sure.
you'd be able to easily recognize as well.
Yep.
This halls are looking awfully samey. You checking out that door?
Yeah, what's the one to our behind us? I'll try to listen at it to see if I can hear anything.
This door right below you does not appear to possess any kind of a lock, and this door, as well as all of the doors you can see down the hall, are much smaller, single heavy wooden doors rather than the stone double doors you've come through so far.
Maybe individual crypts?
Well,
Entirely possible.
with its own door? I mean, it must be pretty well appointed if that's the case.
I mean, we're at the point in the temple where you start getting people who might have that kind of money.
Well, there's only one way to find out. We should examine it. For the
Make me
good
a
of the
perception check to. You said you wanted to listen to the door. Go ahead, make me a perception check.
Thank you. There we go.
With a 24, you can hear 2 voices. The door is thick and obstructs sound enough you can't make out what they're saying, but they appear to be arguing. And they're arguing in common.
There's 2 people, there's 2 voices in there and they're arguing about something. I can't tell what they're arguing about, but it's in common, whatever it is.
I could throw a bomb. I have many bombs and I could throw them.
Why
Let's
are
go
we throwing
talking.
bombs in a crypt?
Is there a keyhole in the door?
There is not. No, none of these doors look like they even possess locks.
Is there a gap underneath the door where light might get through?
No. The wooden door is fit pretty snugly into the stone frame here in the ossuary, as if to seal.
Do
from the
those
outside.
whispers sound intimidating, or do they sound kind and understanding?
They sound terrified.
I like it. If they're terrified, we've got the upper hand.
That is true. It's possibly they're the ones who dropped the torch out here. Let's
I suppose.
check the door.
I want to see what they're arguing about. My curiosity is just killing me.
Well, fair enough, I guess.
Well, I will get a bomb anyways.
Get a bomb anyway, just in case.
I mean,
in case they're disagreeable.
If you
So
want, I can't open the door.
For just so you know, for alchemical, you can pull out the alchemist fire. The acid is perfectly fine. If you make one of your alchemist bombs, you only have 1 round to throw it before it becomes inert, and you just lose it.
Oh, okay.
So you
I'll
can't just
hold
like
on to the
have an
acid.
alchemist bomb, but it's also part of the action to make it includes throwing it, so that you don't really need to like. You can carry like the bottle and just not put the reagent in it, but as soon as you make one, you have 6 seconds to throw it before it fizzles.
I'll just carry one of the acid flasks.
Okay, yeah, those are fine. You can do that.
Also, by the way, before we go on, so the mutagen has +2 to natural armor. Where do I put that?
You can just put it straight in your normal AC. Let me look. It's armor. You can put it in your armor bonus. Everything your armor applies to, your natural armor is also going to apply to.
If we really want to freak him out, I can make some ghost sounds.
What? Why are we trying? Let's just open the door.
Oh, okay.
So, the voice
If they
of
don't hear
reason,
us, we won't hear a ghost.
Maverick, you trying to open the door?
Sure.
So you go to push it, and it appears to be stuck. It's either wedged in place from time or blocked or barred somehow from the other side.
Well, it seems that the people who have gone and taken shelter in here have barricaded themselves in. Maybe we can try to talk to them, although the door doesn't seem to carry sound too well. But
Or we could knock.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Let's knock. So we'll knock on the door. I'll try not to pound aggressively like a debt collector, but
So you decide a couple simple raps on the wooden door frame here is the best
A little bit
idea.
of shave and a haircut.
I mean, you could also do that. If that's what you want to knock on the door, that's perfectly fine too. That's not intimidating. I don't know if that's a thing that exists in Galarian, but surely they have some equivalent.
there you go.
But you knock. There's no immediate response.
Are you okay? We're here to rescue you. That'll usually they should buy that.
Give me a diplomacy check.
I wasn't expecting to have to use diplomacy.
And if you're undead and you're not here to help us, I'd just like to say that we come in pieces. I mean, peace.
You can give me a diplomacy check too, because Maverick's 6 is not particularly convincing. Your 24, however, is significantly better. And you hear a voice finally reply. No, we're very much okay. Please, leave us.
No, seriously, we came to help. We've got food and water, and we know the way out. Like, why don't you just come with us? What are you doing in there?
Make me another diplomacy check.
Can I get advantage?
That's not a thing in this game.
Well, that just sucks then.
With a 14, there's a moment of silence before you hear the voice again, this time much closer to the door. Who are you? How?
We're adventurers who come to help out the priests. Apparently, there've been bodies that have been disappearing and weird stuff happening in these crypts, and we came down here to see what was going on. Why are you here?
And you hear massive wooden beams being relocated before the door opens, revealing a Tengu standing in front of you, like a birdman, basically, with some fairly simple light armor and kukris at his hips, and he motions you very quickly to come inside. Get in here, quick, before they come back!
Okay. Come on, guys.
Fair enough.
Are you going in?
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, great. Yeah, sure. This is a great idea.
They're both tank. Okay.
And as you get in there, you see another Tengu holding a torch inside, cowering as back in the corner as he possibly can. And you find yourselves now in a very small crypt with biers of solid gold encrusted with glittering gems leaned up against the walls of this chamber. There's golden candelabras stood in the corners, empty of candles, and the walls depicting a beautiful afterlife, filled to the brim with riches and luxury, all of it in bright pigments and gold leaf.
Whoa.
It is
I don't like it.
very rich and very extravagant.
It's not right to, have this all down here where no one can see it.
And the Tengu turns, the door turns back around. The one with the torch in the corner is still kind of cowering. And it says to you, What are you doing here? How did you get in?
We used the front door. What do you mean, how'd we get in?
He looks at the other Tengu, and the other Tengu with the torch just kind of shrugs. They don't look like the demons. Like, well, they're not the demons, obviously, but... Why are you down here?
Gold.
Money, mostly.
Well, it's not worth it, I can guarantee you that much. We were down here for 10 minutes and... We lost Fisk.
Well, I should say, could you tell us more about these demons of which you speak?
And wait, when did you get down here? You were down here for 10 minutes? How did you get in?
They just look at each other for a moment. Like they're unsure to answer this question. Oh, the torch looks back at you. The hole around the corner.
Is this a small hole?
Big enough. Well, the door continues. We came in the same as you for money, and we found this room and its extravagance. Decided to look further, and it is not safe here. But if you've gotten in, surely we can get out.
Welcome, squatting.
That's the fun part. The door's locked.
Whoops.
We don't need the door. We've the hole. And he turns around and ekes that door up again and looks out. Like, it's gone. The demon's gone. Isaac, this is our moment.
You're gonna die out there.
Well, we wish you the best of luck in not doing the same. But, and he steps backward. I'm going to take my leave as soon as possible.
Which way did you come from?
Well, I'll just follow them and see if I can see where the hole is that they're talking about.
And he is, he's like, Isaac, the torch! And motions to him, and the other Tengu comes around here. And they head out to the left, around this corner. And as they do, they move to a much more crude opening in the wall. It's clearly not manufactured as well as these hallways. This looks like it was just mined by a bunch of peasants with picks. And the first Tengu turns around back again to this dirt and rubble strewn hole.
Maybe that's how people are getting in and out without the priest knowing about it.
It could be how we can get out too in case the chimes run out.
Well, it leads to the outside of Karamagad. It comes out of one of the nostrils of one of those massive carvings. We found it a few days back and have been slowly making our way through. It's long and unpleasant, but it leads out of here, and it's better than dealing with the demons.
Huh.
If you're smart, you'll come too.
I still am curious about the demons you are mentioning.
I'm not
And,
particularly smart.
The one with the torch, Isaac, speaks up. We looked in some of the crypts down the hall, or across from the one we were hiding in. One was just full of preserved bodies, and weirdly non-decayed, as if they'd just been placed there. But the next had... I don't know how to describe this. And,
More bodies?
the
You're being
first
fairly
one,
cryptic.
from which shake his head, it's a sex zombie! I don't know what else to call the thing!
Oh.
I like where this is going.
We did it first until it killed Fisk! Trust us, it's not worth it. The thing looks like a woman, very scantily clad and admittedly attractive. It's a guise, The thing's a demon. Ripped Fisk in two.
That is much less charming. They leave something to be desired. For sure.
I have an older sister like that.
Look, whatever wishes this crypt might have, if you want them, they're yours. But we're leaving.
Well, then, have
Starts
fun
to
out
make his way
there.
out the
Best
tunnel.
of luck to you. Thank
And,
you for telling me this.
Isaac just turns and looks back at you, fear in his eyes, and shakes his head as they make their way down and stooping through this very narrow passage. slowly
Make good
meander out of
choices.
sight.
Well, if they said that something over here is worth fighting, let's fight it.
All right. Well, let's.
Well, there is riches in that room. Maybe we should just take a little bit with us, just in case. It's pretty bright. Gold is. It could help light our way.
Tim's already walking down the hall. Tim's going.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you
So-
don't have to go the same direction. You also have light if you want to head in there. But if
Well-
you want to head back into the southern
Well, wait.
crypt.
One thing at a time.
We're not splitting up.
They said it was the second door, right?
Well, this first door is already opened on the left, and as you make your way to this leads into another small crypt, much the same size as the one that you Tengu had been hiding in. This one's covered with more brightly painted carvings, vividly depicting mighty dragons in flight over shining cities. And below, winged angels kneel and serve human masters. There's a lot of peacock feather motifs throughout the chamber, and it actually smells very pleasant in here. Like a light perfume.
Can
I
I
thought
get-
you boosting scene.
Can I get a detect magic off?
You can absolutely do detect magic in here. As you're swinging that around and looking through the room to assess any magical auras, there's a little more. There's some biers with humans laying atop them, draped in rich cloths. And if they're dead, it doesn't look like it. They literally just look like they're sleeping. Your detect magic brings back. Actually, let me check. Does detect magic have the thing where if you, like a lot of them do, where if you detect too strong of an aura, it stuns you? A lot of the detect spells do. I don't think detect magic does, though. It does
I don't
not.
remember. I don't think it does. I mean,
A
I've
lot of the
never-
other detects do, but not magic. You detect an overwhelming aura of illusion in the room.
Guys, don't believe anything you see. There is a ridiculous illusion magic going on right now. Like, what you see ain't what you see.
I suppose I will stay out here then.
You need to all disbelieve at all times. I mean, disbelieve.
Like, disbelieve everything?
Yeah, everything.
I don't
Who are
believe
you?
Like,
I don't believe you're here.
that's good. Good start. But no, you should. Yes. I mean, even if that's what it requires.
I'm gonna poke one of the bodies, I guess.
No, that's where it starts.
And I'm going to examine the paintings, see if I can poke it in.
Make me a will save, everyone who's touching things in this room.
Dear diary, today told them not to believe anything.
Maverick and Tim.
What is with the tins?
With a 14 from Maverick and a 10 from Tim. You gently poke the body with the sword, with the tip of your humongous great sword. And I mean, the skin gives. If your sword is particularly sharp, it cuts a bit, but no blood runs forth. Maverick, the paintings are some of the highest quality art you've probably ever seen in your life. Possibly up there with what you may have seen pre-ousted Scion, but it is the best art that mankind could produce. There is no hint of any brush strokes. All of the shapes are perfectly created and shaded. But
Is there a symbol of Phrasma anywhere on the painting?
there is not. Well, it's the walls are painted. They're not like hanging paintings.
Oh, okay, it's like a fresco.
Yeah,
then or
no,
something.
yeah, it's not like paintings you can take with you.
Okay.
Yeah,
No,
same
it's
as
not.
the last room.
I'm thoroughly pleased with this room. I have no further interest.
Makes sense to me.
We need to leave this room.
We're out.
Yeah, we're done with that room.
Cool. All right.
On to the sexy zombie.
You opening this door, Tim?
Yep.
Across the hall from the previous room, you open a door to the next of the crypts. In the center is a large circle. At the center of the floor, is a large circle of tarnished silver powder, surrounded by clear arcane symbols. There is basically nothing else in here.
Can I get a Knowledge Arcana to be able to read them?
You absolutely can. Still enough. You actually both, Dick and Rena, as you look in the room, can both identify this as the physical portion of a magic circle against evil, a binding circle.
Huh. That's interesting. I guess, is it still active?
It does not appear to be.
Do I think I could make it active?
Not unless you could recast the whole spell yourself. If you weren't able to use that, because at the moment it's just the physical portion. Being offline, you'd have to put the whole spell back into it. So if you have Magic Circle Against Evil, you could use this as the physical component. But I don't think that's a love spell. You'd have a level 1.
Somebody who came in here was a nervous Nelly and dropped down some pretty big magic to try to protect themselves against evil.
Is that what that is?
Mhm.
You would also notice that the circle is angled inward, not outward.
Not out towards the door.
No, I like it. It's into the circle. Magic Circle Against Evil can do two things. You can put it down as like a shield that evil can't come in, or you can put it down as a binding circle that evil can't leave. This is a binding circle.
So I guess they were trying to they were trying to bind something in here. Something kind of nasty, and I guess it didn't work.
Well, I notice there's nothing in there right now.
Hence,
Well, none of you have really gone in. You don't really see a sliver of the room, to be fair.
I'm not going any further into the room of ultimate evil. Let's keep going.
Tierm steps in and looks around. You can see that there are some simple wooden cabinets around the outside of this room. And make me a perception check, Tim. With a 7, you notice that the level of quality in here is dramatically lower than everything else so far. This looks like a room in a peasant's home almost, with just the simple flat-hewn stone walls and these few cabinets.
You know,
Satisfied? It's somewhere else.
I'm starting to wonder whether or not all of these rooms serve some sort of larger pattern. Like, they're almost different people's ideas of what something is. I can't put my finger on it yet, though. Let's look at more of them.
On to the next one, then.
I'm gonna get my sword and mace out, and dagger mace, I guess, and just stay by the door and just get ready.
I'm going to put my Oracle mask on and literally put my game face on.
You continue down the hallway to the next door, walking past the crackling flame still left on this torch that I guess Fisk would have dropped, or possibly the other Tengu as he was running away, because only one of them had a torch.
Yeah.
Take up positions around the next door. You can open this one?
Absolutely.
So in here
Is there a brand new car?
Yet another small crypt.
Uh-oh.
And
The remains.
inside this crypt, you immediately see a few things. And go ahead and stop moving for a moment. First of all, you see a dead, very dead Tengu. DC -10 heal check. This Tengu is beyond eviscerated. He has been torn apart. Holy cow. You did it. You made the DC -10 heal check. The second thing you notice is a creature standing across the doorway as well. Largely like the Tengu had described, if you just kind of glance at it. Sort of sexy in a weird kind of way, other than the horrifying skull demon head and the fingers that end in long, taloned claws. It hisses as the door opens and the light strikes it and immediately moves to attack. Some initiative, ladies and gentlemen. We must fight the sex demon. We'll also have you all know that this is official artwork from this module, even. This is a thing that Paizo made. Get the initiative table over here. But this scene may have a little bit cut off. And then let me get this things.
I say I played Exalted. This is pretty tame by comparison.
Yeah. Wait.
Yeah, good thing there's no bard.
He could seduce his way out.
The thing seems to be, it actually doesn't react super quickly. It seems to be somewhat still distracted with the body on the ground. It's not eating it, but it's definitely doing something to it. Maverick, my roguish friend, you're up first.
I'm going to tap Tierm on the shoulder and say, and whisper to it, draw it out into the hallway. And we'll attack it from all sides.
Technically, I have a 19. Sorry.
What?
Wait, what?
Temporal celerity allows me to roll 2 and pick one.
All right, yeah, you actually, you do get to roll twice. Oh, you already have a 19 on the thing that actually put it on there, so you're fine. So, are you holding your turn then, Maverick?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'll put my back to the wall to try to be not unnoticed.
Do you want to make a stealth check? Because you're not in front of the door. I mean, you can do that as a move action, and you can ready an attack or something if you want to, or you can just wholly hold your turn. It's up to you.
Let's put my back against the wall, and then for the move action, and then I'll just hold my attack.
Okay, so you can roll me a stealth check here because it's combat, and you're gonna do what you're gonna do.
So, do not roll it or do roll it?
You can roll it here. When we're using it for crawling around, I do it, but I mean, it's in combat. It doesn't matter what you do here. This is.
I got you. I can roll it instead of.
Yeah, this is gonna happen immediately. Rena.
I guess I'll attack him with my. I'll look at him and I'll attack him with my crossbow.
All right, so you draw your. Did you have your crossbow in your hands while you're walking around?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can absolutely take a shot with your crossbow. An attack roll. It's flat-footed, hasn't done anything yet.
Give me a sec. I'm looking for it. Crossbow light. Sorry. Thank you.
And I didn't bother setting up macros or anything for this one, chat, so we're just using the normal dice roller. So with a 3, unfortunately, even that's not going to connect flat-footed. That bolt is going to sail by and clatter off the wall behind whatever this weird sex zombie is. Then you still have a move action if you want to. Actually, you probably have to reload as a move action still, don't you?
Yeah. Do you have to spend a move action to reload a light, or is that a heavy?
A heavy takes a standard action to reload.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oof.
So you only get to shoot every other turn. A light takes a medium action. So then you draw the thing back. You can still 5-foot step somewhere if you want. But if you're going to reload.
5-foot step to the right.
Okay. So yeah, you can put yourself wherever you want to go. But as you step back, you crank back the lever on your crossbow to load in another bolt. Dick.
Yeah. Okay, I see this. I have this acid flask. I've been holding this at a perfect lob point here this whole time. And I just lob full force. My whole body just lob this acid flask into the room.
All right. And as you, I'm going to assume into the room is code for at
her
thing. Yeah,
at her.
just wildly into the room. So,
no,
all right.
This is like granny shot basketball here.
So if I understand the alchemist rules correctly when I was reading them, you get all the same benefits to throwing acid flasks and alchemist fire as you do to throwing your own bombs. So I'm pretty sure it's exactly the same attack roll. You can just click your bomb weapon thing. It even still gets the bonus damage. And that is a critical threaten. A natural 20 and a 19 to confirm.
Wow.
Spoilers, level 1 enemies flat-footed is lower than 19. So you crit this creature with this, you said acid, right?
Yep.
With this flask of acid, and as it turns to look towards the door, it just gets a face full of both shattered glass and burning acid. And now it looks like that all the time after it's burned away whatever disguise it had on its face.
Bye, Brian.
12 acid damage, because the damage while your bombs are 1d6 should be exactly the same as your bombs too, because throw anything and alchemist bombs give you intelligence to all throw and splash weapons, which I didn't realize till we built this character for Brim. So level 1 alchemist gets to just buy a bunch of acids and use those.
Dang.
Now, enraged, the creature is going to lurch forward. not with its hands, but with its still burning face, almost like it's trying to kiss Tyrm here. What's your flat-footed AC, buddy?
14.
Can I use my attack since it's within 5 feet now? And it
Oh,
did
yeah,
not-
your ready would go off right there as it lurches in. It has cover, because it's still around the corner of the door frame for you, so that's just +2 to its AC, but you would get your attack here.
Surprise, surprise, surprise.
But it also doesn't see you, so you also get sneak attack. And also, it's still flat-footed, because it doesn't see you.
Whoop whoop! I'll take it all. I'll take what I can get.
Take it.
Let's see here. Should I do a walloping?
You should totally wallop.
Let's do a
Well, you
wallop.
only get one attack, so you give it a wallop with a 13. Actually, I don't have a mace whacking sound because no one in the party's ever. Wait, hold on. That'll do.
That's a whip.
You come around the corner. It's a staff, according to the soundboard. As it comes around the corner, you swing out with your mace and clatter off the side of the door frame. If it was open, that would have hit. But with the cover it has, unfortunately, that's going to miss. And then this horrifying creature reaches out and bites down on Tyrm.
Just a kiss. It's just gentle.
That's a very, very aggressive kiss.
Give him the
Tyrm,
licks.
you take
No.
3 damage. And I need you to make me a will save.
Oh god.
With a 9, as this creature bites you, even through the pain, you can't help, I'm not making this up, you can't help but feel uncontrollably turned on. And you are so overwhelmed with lust that even as you try to mount a counterattack, you can't focus on the glory of Gorum over the glory of possibly fucking a weird zombie.
Attack.
Oh my
You
god.
are mechanically sickened. But it is your turn. You're scare-roused.
Second on my sheet.
Yep. And these character sheets, for reference for you two, Nick and Jen, up at the top, you can put on conditions and it'll auto add everything it needs to do. So yeah, let's go and
seriously?
flip on Sicken. That'll automatically modify your rolls.
Oh,
These-
that's so cool.
These sheets are really cool, actually.
So, upon feeling this, I'm going to steel myself, immerse myself in the glory of battle, and swing my greatsword.
No, that's a natural one. You are very distracted. You want to put a different sword in this demon right now. And that is going to absolutely and completely, like, you a natural one. You don't even swing the sword, man. You're, like, so overwhelmed. Like,
You kind of just go against the wall and you kind of just rub feverishly.
you just...
This did not go how I had planned it.
Well, that's
There
your
was a
standard action. Do you
greatsword
want
being
to do
swung.
anything
It was not the
else?
one in my hands.
Do you want to do anything else, Tim?
You hear
Probably not, no.
I'm really glad this campaign's happening on my channel. So that brings us back around to Rena. You see Tim just kind of freeze, and his pants stiffen a bit as this
And he spasms
creature
slightly.
rips into him. Do you have... I think this is also knowledge engineering.
I got that.
This is actually an enemy type that doesn't show up terribly often. Does anyone know what aberrations are? Is it knowledge engineering?
Engineering.
It is engineering? Okay, this is an aberration.
Wait, I have this.
It's crazy bad shit. Well, Maverick, as you see this creature come out at least, you would kind of understand what this is. This looks like a manifestation of lust. It's not a zombie, it's not a demon. It is an aberration. And especially seeing what's happening to Tyrm, the way we do knowledge checks here is you got a 19. So you get to ask one question about its abilities, strengths, or weaknesses, and then another one for every 5 by which you beat the DC. So you get to ask me 2 questions, which are things that Maverick knows about this creature.
Oh, fascinating. Okay. Let's see here.
Can I
Do I
use
have-
the restroom real quick?
Yeah, you can go.
Is that allowed?
Well, run real quick while he's doing this.
That's roll hired.
Shit.
Let's see. I guess the first thing that goes through my head, seeing as how Term is being mauled / mounted by this thing, is this going to cause lasting damage to Tierm if we get this thing off of him and pull it down? Or
The effect this thing has in its bites seems to impart an overwhelming lust into its target. And while that is going to be a relatively long-term effect, it's definitely not something that's going to expire before this battle is over, and it's something he will still have for a little while afterward. It will go away on its own. The bigger threat is repeated exposure makes it more severe. This is stage 1, Horny.
Oh, God. Okay,
Second question.
all right. I good to know. All right, so gotta get it off him as quickly as possible.
Before he gets it off him.
Before he gets it off, yeah. All right, question 2 then is going to be
The hard-on only becomes...
what damage type is it resistant to?
It's not resistant to any kind of physical damage, but it is resistant to all magic.
Okay.
All right, and then I'll go ahead, and since 3 of you are before the lust spawn anyway, we'll have Rena hold, and then if we get to the lust spawn before she comes back, we can just wait a minute. But Dick, you're up.
Okay, so because I don't really have this with Dara, so if I were to take out my crossbow, that's like a full thing, right?
It's a move action to draw it, and you can't carry a loaded crossbow on your back.
Okay, yeah.
So it's a move action to draw it, and another move action to load it.
And then I couldn't shoot.
And then you wouldn't be able to shoot this turn, right?
Okay.
Yeah, Dara does a lot of stuff really well. Normal
does.
crossbow use is not like that.
I have a Mountain Dew.
Not a mountain.
Okay. I am going to. I guess I will still. I'm gonna. Because I have 2 move action. Okay.
Yeah, drawing it and shooting it's gonna be your whole turn, or drawing it and loading it'll be your whole turn rather.
And then next turn I could load. Next turn I could load and shoot.
Yeah, next turn you can shoot it and then load it again. So you can do that. You can pull out the crossbow and load it and then be ready.
Okay.
But the creature already looks like it's pretty injured from your first acid splash. Doesn't look like it would take a whole lot more to bring it down.
Okay. Maybe I'll just wait. I'm gonna like kind of slink back into the wall a little bit and wait until I see what.
Alright, so you're gonna go on. All right, so Rena.
I'm gonna look back around the corner real quick and go, ha, exactly where I want you. Pull the crossbow up again and let another bolt loose right into its ugly, fetid face.
And so with another shot, it does have cover from the corner, but go ahead and roll me that attack. And
It is exposing
another
its face.
natural 20. You called the shot. A natural 20, and even with the cover, a 16 confirms. So you absolutely strike this thing with a bolt for 8 piercing damage. And what we do here on the channel is if you get the final blow in an encounter, you get to say what you do. What happens to this creature? I mean, you kind of already led there by shooting in the face, but what do you do? What happens to this lust spawn?
A rictus grin kind of splits open what's left of her face, and you hear this moaning climax as she sort of melts into the ground. And as this happens, our friend culminates the feeling that he was feeling and kind of slumps against the wall a little, and all of it is released at once.
This is awesome.
Fair enough. All right. So,
And he's gonna need a change of clothes.
as this creature goes down, so briefly does Tim. But the threat is gone for the moment. Now, Tim, you are still sickened with overwhelming lust. That's gonna persist for a bit. With the
Get him a
creature,
cigarette, it'll be all right.
with the creature down, looking into the room, you can see much like most of the previous crypts, this is also painted with frescoes, but. And I can't even say anything to you because this is Paizo's fault. This time it is all shockingly graphical depictions of orgies between all manner of humanoid and bestial creature.
Sorry, did Slaanesh get a hold of this room?
Paizo apparently has changed a decent amount in the 10 years they've been making Pathfinder content, because their old stuff versus their new stuff is very different. Because this, I am literally reading from the text blurb here. 5 humanoid skeletons lie in state on biers. The bodies appear human. The skulls are replaced with those of monstrous creatures. And, of course, a pile of bloody bones and feathers is most all that's left of a recently killed creature.
Man, I have models of this creature, like, right on my desk right now.
Oh, yeah, you play Slanesh, so, I mean, you're familiar with this.
I mean, here's,
I mean, in all honesty, like, the backs of my romance novels, if you read them, read exactly like this scene.
Paizo wrote this. PG-13 on their channel, by the way. But Paizo wrote this creature and this room.
Yeah, in War for the Crown, I have been refurbishing a literal porn magazine.
Yep.
I mean,
That's true.
honesty,
It's been literal porn and War for the Crown, so stuff happens. Anyway.
Well, I guess, let's check. This creature here was almost like it was created by the scene in this room.
I'm telling you,
it doesn't normally live here.
Somebody designed these rooms for very specific purposes, and they're all expressions of whoever either was buried here or somebody whose intention it was to put these people here.
Well, these people are really fucked up.
Give this guy a cigarette, for Christ's sake. Here you go.
For what it's worth, the dead Tengu does have a dagger, a short bow, and 20 arrows, leather armor, and 7 silver, if you wish to pick it up. And this aberration, the lust spawn, does appear to wear a whole assortment of archaic and ancient-styled jewelry. And as Terra mocks away, Maverick is just dropped in the darkness in this room. But go make me a praise check real quick.
I attack the darkness.
I forgot I have the light source.
20s today. Dick, you need to stop, is what Tyrm is saying to his penis. With another natural 20, 23 on a praise. With the quality and the antique nature of all the jewelry on this lust spawn, you could probably sell it for 400 gold.
Oh my god.
We're definitely picking that up.
Well, we don't know if Dick's gonna be not
Dick knows this. Yeah.
Yeah.
The rest of you know it's like antique, valuable looking jewelry.
I mean, we're gonna pick it up. We have no clue what it's worth, but we're definitely taking it.
I would suggest we take this with us.
We shall add it to our pile.
I mean, I'm putting on gloves first, because I'm not touching her lustful fleshiness, but...
Maverick ain't no prude.
Maverick ain't afraid. Give me that necklace, bitch.
Some of the jewelry might be a little sticky.
So, did anybody even actually go into the room with any light at all, or no? Just Maverick. You went in, but
yeah, I was standing here.
Yeah, but that's showing. Maverick doesn't have a torch or anything, so he can only see what you're illuminating. You can't. Yeah, there you go. So as you walk into the room, there are also several older porcelain bottles and jars around the room, and as you check through them, 2 of them are not empty. And they still appear to have something in them.
That's interesting. What would that be?
As a perception to identify potions. Still sickened and distracted. So, Rena, you would recognize one of them as a potion of Eagle's Splendor. So that will give you +4 charisma for 3 minutes if you drink it.
Okay.
And Maverick, you identify the other, which is technically a magical item, so it would take a spellcraft, but I don't care, and I'll give it to you, as a love potion. It is an actual elixir of love. First person who drinks that will become immediately enraptured with the next target they see.
Potion of Eagle's Splendor, right?
Yep. Yeah. I mean, you're a charisma caster, right? So that's actually great for you.
Yeah.
So if you drink that, you're going to have +4 charisma for 3 minutes.
That's nice. I'll take it. This is a lovely room of death. I guess
it's a very lovely room of sex. It's definitely not a room of... Well, there are a couple of bodies in
It's a fucking room in more than one sense.
It's a fucking room. This is the magical orgy chamber.
All right.
This is the room where all of the fucks were given all at once, and no one knew what the consequences would be.
Still trying to contain his boner, Tyr makes his way back across the hall
It's a good thing I'm wearing hide. You can't see it.
To the next door.
Hey, at least we have something to point us in the right direction now. Follow that schlong.
And you
Into
can open
the
this door
next
as well.
room.
As
Kicking
you
this one open, a frustration.
As you boot open this door in sexual frustration, you don't even have a moment to process what's inside this room before a massive, horrifically bloated zombie is already lurching towards you. Roll me some initiative again.
Oh, that's lovely.
It's very not.
Whoa. Man, it's really not lovely.
Very
at all.
much not lovely.
Whoosh.
This is a truly disgusting creature. That is a floater from Dead Island.
Pretty sure that's just a floater, period.
Fair.
So this was Slanesh. That makes this Nurgle.
Now, unfortunately, I don't have this whole pre-built module like I do in the War for the Con, so I have to actually Google all these stats as I go and put them in manually.
Lazy.
Ooh, he is definitely lurching towards you. He's quick for a fatty. Tyr,
It's a good thing I'm a little faster.
yeah, in the doorway, your frustration sharpens your wits, and you're ready.
All right. I'm gonna close the door.
Immediately decides that's not worth the effort.
And I'm gonna
just
ready to bring my great sword down as soon as the door opens.
Shuts the door. All right, so let me forget to take the hold
Pretend
off
we
the
never
dick.
saw that, and we're gonna walk away clean.
Give me the pink here. So you just open the door, shut the door.
Yep.
That's just-
And this has been a demonstration of statistics.
a pass. You hear a angry slamming on the inside of the door.
Oh, he wants out.
Rena,
He doesn't know how doorknobs work.
he does not appear to understand how doors work.
I didn't for a while either. It's
Are
okay.
any of you gonna open the door again?
No.
All right, well, fuck that then. All right, combat's over. Good job.
Fuck that.
Just, oh, hi. No,
Fuck
sorry.
that shit. I'm out.
I'm too hard for this.
Get on out.
Are we not supposed to clear?
No, there's a bonus if we clear.
There's a bonus, but the bonus is half as much as the pile of jewelry you just found on the sex demon. So I mean,
We'll come back to
And
this.
they don't know that.
that is true. Actually, they don't know how much it's worth.
We will come back and deal with Fatty when we make sure everything else around here is safe.
That sounds good. Let's not get into
I
any more
suppose.
fights.
I suppose that seems
Then-
wise.
Absolutely have to.
I might be a cleric
continuing
of
down the
Gorum,
hall
but I'm not
towards-
dumb enough to fight something stupid.
Continuing down the hall towards its termination, there are a final pair of two doors, one on either side.
All right. Who wants to open the first of the pair?
Let me actually put a listen at it first and see if I can't pick something up.
So, leaning up against the rightmost door, you try to listen. And a natural 20, so 24, you hear absolute silence. And with a 24, you're pretty confident there is no noise on the other side of this door. This one, unlike the rest of the sturdy wooden doors, does feature a very ornate physical lock covered with a visible magical shimmer.
Ooh.
2 layers of protection.
Goodness. Looking at them, do I think that I'd best be absolutely 100% sure when opening this door?
I'll give
or-
you the 24 on that one as well. It doesn't seem like there's any sort of trap or trigger tied into this, even inside the lock, as far as you can see. The 20, you look it over pretty confidently, can say it. If there's a trap here, it's beyond your ability to detect it.
All right. Well, I guess let's go ahead and see. I think I can get this open. I'll start working at it. I'll take 20. That's 26.
I'll pray for you.
All right, so you start working on this lock, getting your picks in, but the magical shielding makes it almost impossible for you to even begin to work on the insides of the lock. And after a minute or two, you don't just not have it all the way open, you don't even know where to start. This lock is phenomenally beyond your ability to pick.
This looks like it might be beyond simple mortal tools. Shall we use shall we use the chime on it? It looks like it could be something really good back there.
Suppose it's worth it if it's this well
Yeah.
protected.
Sure.
I'll pull out the chime of opening and bing!
All right, and as you strike the chime, and a surprisingly deep, subtle tone rings out.
Ooh.
Think
Nothing
mystics from the
happens.
Dark Crystal.
Aw.
The enchantment on this door is stronger than the enchantment on the chime.
Ooh.
But you only have 4 charges left now.
Why did they even give us this chime thing? This chime things is
First
like,
time.
why
It clearly doesn't work.
this
The
thing
chime's
is-
broken.
I think they lied to us.
Well, I suppose we're stuck down here. Is what this means.
Nonsense. You can go out the nostril.
You have already located another exit that apparently is not locked, so
That's true.
you have a
Thanks
way
for our
out.
2 friends.
What about the door across from this?
That one looks the same as the doors that have been all the way up and down this hall. That one looks of simple wood. No lock, visible.
All right.
Nothing
Well,
different.
let's see what horror is behind this one.
Yep.
So
good.
as he finally begins to get his boner under control, and Tim, you're no longer sickened.
Oh, fantastic.
It lasted 3 minutes. You're no longer sickened. You move up and open the last of the doors in this hallway. Now, this one leads into a room that it's almost impossible to tell how it was previously furnished, because whatever was in here has been shattered and obliterated beyond recognition. Ancient dried bloodstains cover the floor and mar all the frescoes and carvings across the wall. It's
So-
like a beast entirely too large for this room rampaged through it and broke everything and then got bored and somehow left.
So what you're telling me is if I open up the door behind me, I'm going to find Zinch with a master plan.
Heard.
Because-
Well, the
is
last
Korn's
3 seem to
bedroom.
have been Slanesh, Nurgle, Korn, and probably. So Zinch's master plan is he doesn't let you open the fucking door.
Exactly.
So I mean, I
Yeah.
guess that lines up, yeah.
Door number 6 is the Sloppity Bile Piper.
These are the
Please.
4 doors of the fucking Chaos Gods up here.
I challenge him to a game of hyperdimension Vostroyan roulette hypercube chess.
If there was ever anything of value in this room, it is beyond gone now.
Okay.
I
I
would-
looked around.
Yeah,
I don't
10
see
on perception, looking through the splinters and rubble. You don't see anything that could possibly be of value here.
Hey, you know what? We're going to be fancy. Detect magic.
Fancy feet.
Okay, well, you can detect magic, right? You're a caster now. I thought
He
you were
only
calling
looks like
someone
a
else.
fighter.
I'm so used to you being now. I just assumed you were calling a friend. You're gonna cast detect magic. As you wave the cone back and forth across the room, you return no magical signatures whatsoever. The room is utterly non-magical. Other than an overwhelming aura of abjuration of the door across the hall from you, which would be within the cone of your detect magic. And whatever aura the chime of opening has. That's all you're getting.
Aura of broken.
Aura, what is the chime of opening?
Is the lock across
Probably
the door
transmutation.
considered a magical device?
The magical part of the lock is it's moderate transmutation on the chime, yeah. There's a magical and a physical lock on that door, so the magical part would indeed be considered a magical device for what reason
So-
exactly?
I wonder if we work together, if I could maybe operate the magical part of it and you could maybe try to pick the physical part of it and we could figure out how they interact and try to pick it together.
A
It just-
very quick glance at the spell to try to assess how you could do that with your own detect magic determines that the power in this arcane lock is so far beyond you couldn't hope to understand or unravel it.
Okay. In that case, I'm just going to spit on it, shine it up a little bit to make it a little bit more shiny, and point back down the hallway where we came from.
Well, this big double door is right at the end of the hallway, right?
No, this actually just does end in a wall.
This is definitely.
Oh, okay.
It's really hard to tell, so I'm trying to tell you where the doors are, because this old map was really hard to dynamic lighting. But no, this one, that is the end of this hallway. It was
right.
7 burial chambers, one with the 2 Tengu, and then 6 stuttering down here, and then it ends.
It's
Well,
time to deal with Fatty.
We found Fatty McFatterson and Slut Bunwalla, so
You
I
did
think
find
we
a
should
very
deal with
fat
Fatty
man and a fatty.
McFatterson.
Well,
wanna return
I
down to the
suppose
door of the
I
vat?
should mention that I have a bomb. I have many bombs, and I can throw the bombs into the room.
I vote for this.
That sounds like an
So-
excellent idea.
That's called an initiative check. You can't ready that.
You
That's
can
like,
ready that as the door opens.
no, that's what initiative is.
Well, that's fine. It's still
Because
plan.
when the door opens, both of you are immediately going to become aware of each other, and then initiative is who reacts to the door opening faster. So, I mean,
we're rolling it.
and if you fail, you can just shut the door again and keep trying. Well, hold on, let me put the initiative table back up.
Just to get the window up.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I have to have it up before it'll actually apply. But go ahead and roll me some initiative, and then we'll have whoever opened the door, it's irrelevant.
It missed my 22. Can you put the 22 in there?
Yes, okay, yeah. She does have a power to roll twice and take the best, by the way, chat. She's not just
I'm
not
not just
shendoing me
powering
by
here.
never clicking on the token. And once again, as the zombie is revealed, I guess he was really dejected about the door opening the first time. I couldn't do anything because it's way worse this time. Tim, let's get yours.
Wonder why no one wants to be friends with him.
Oh, poor monster.
Tim, I don't have your initiative.
Oh, I think we lost Derp.
Oh no, it fell apart.
Uh-oh.
Crap, Derb's powering out or something. Oh, I didn't notice.
Yeah,
The
it
good
just-
news is that as soon as he logs back in, it will fix everything because he's last in the order anyway.
Hey, there he comes. There he comes.
Positive changes.
There he is. We're back.
Although he's been replaced by a chair.
Bye, chair.
That's fine. Let me roll. I'll just put him on the initiative table really fast. I can do that because I am the GM and I have everybody's
I'm
character
back.
sheets.
I don't know what the hell that was.
Did your power go or your internet
Good
go out?
save.
My internet, just I didn't touch anything, and my modem just kind of reset.
It's okay,
Hooray
man.
for modern technology.
It was
All right.
David Bowie.
I mean, if anyone's gonna disconnect, you're the best because you get back in and everything works fine now because it's what it's supposed to be. Okay, we're good stuff. Dick, you are in fact first.
Oh, I need to roll mine.
I put you on.
Oh, this?
Oh,
No,
okay.
Up with a brush because it's still kind of fuzzy.
But with a brush, I think it'll be okay.
Yeah, I could probably effectively sand it
Yeah,
down
you
with
can
a
make
brush.
that happen.
What?
Sorry.
I spray
Dick.
painted when it was way too humid outside, and
All right, Dick, go ahead.
Gotcha. Okay, so now I have one of my regular bombs, and this one has like a really nifty handle on it. So this one I can just swing it back, and as I swing it back, it actually scrapes across the ground. Sparks fly, it then ignites. I swing it forward and just lob it into the room.
All right, I'm gonna hope you can hit a flat-footed zombie with a touch attack.
I would hope so.
19 will definitely hit a flat-footed zombie with a touch attack. So
Excellent.
it strikes it for 6 damage. And as this fat piece of crap continues to trundle forward, bloated as it is, it seems fairly injured, but still angry and doesn't really feel pain. It's undead. Do you have knowledge religion, by the way?
Yes.
You want to give me a knowledge check on this here zombo? With a
21.
21, it's a zombie. You actually get 3 questions. It is not just a zombie, though. It is a particularly fat and bloated zombie.
Okay.
I'm not sure I can tell you 3 things about a zombie, but go ahead and...
Well, my first question as an alchemist would be, does it explode when it dies?
It absolutely is going to explode when it dies. This zombie looks like it is completely filled to the brim with noxious liquid and gas. And upon its death, it is going to blow up in a 10-foot radius.
I feel like we should retreat and then hit it from a safe distance. And then I'm going to, I guess, another question would be: is there anything that it's particularly resistant to?
It's resistant to, as a zombie, since it doesn't really feel pain and most physical damage doesn't really injure it. It's most vulnerable to being popped. It's weak to piercing damage. I lied to you, Nick. I'm sorry. It's weak to piercing damage. This is the only one. But resistant to other forms of physical damage.
you don't have any piercing. All you have is piercing. You're gonna lose.
This is the only thing down here. Skeletons and regular zombies resist piercing. You wanted to come in with 2 short swords. I couldn't let you do that.
I guess my last question would be: how fast is this thing?
Zombies are relatively slow, but that doesn't manifest as a move speed. Zombies are incapable of charging in and mounting attack. They are functionally staggered at all times. They can only either move or attack. They can't do both in one round.
Okay. And then can I 5-foot step away from this thing?
Absolutely can 5-foot step away from that thing. Sounds like you can
I'm gonna
move.
see.
You just threw a bomb. That's just a standard action. You can move 20 feet. You're halfway away from this thing. You could run down the hall. We should probably back away as Dick runs down the hall.
Retreat. This guy, you don't want to be near this one.
Rena.
I'm going to look at it and find like the most noxious, large-looking pustule on this thing I can, and I'm gonna aim my crossbow right for it. I'm gonna make this thing explode like a milk-filled balloon.
All right. That is a thing you can certainly try to do.
It's gonna
Give
be
me an attack
glorious.
roll. As another natural 20 and a
You're the
15
best.
to confirm. So, wow.
Is it weak to
critic-
piercing?
The critical damage is lower than the regular damage because the 1d8 was a 7, the 2d8s were a 2 and a 4. So you crit it for less damage than you would have done had you just hit it normally. But you do still manage to kill the creature. And what do you do again, crossbow Jesus?
So as the pustule hits, the percussion of it actually knocks the gas back into itself, and instead of exploding outward, it explodes inward and leaves like a flat, almost like picturesque indentation of itself on the floor.
It was a good try, but it does definitely still explode out. And as two of you are within the range as these fumes rush out from the zombie as it falls, Maverick and Arena both need to make me fortitude saves. And this...
Flex to dodge away.
And this is why I need prestidigitation.
It's
in
a
my
explosion of gas. All right, it's a
don't-
fortitude save against a poison if you have anything against poison specifically.
Oh,
This is gonna be gross. Ah!
dear God.
Yeah, and Rena just lets this gas just washes around her because she knew it was coming. So I guess you held your breath and popped him. You knew what Dick said. You were ready, and never one to suffer the consequences of our own actions. She is entirely unaffected.
I'm an oracle. I
Meanwhile,
saw
Maverick's there with like his stick, like, all right, you got this, man. You got this.
By the poison. Maverick, you try to breathe in to hold your breath as it explodes, but just too late, and you just inhale a load of this swirling dark dust.
Oh. Cough, wretch.
And you lose 1 charisma.
Yeah, it's very undignified.
Do you have anything you can do against poisons?
Not get poisoned in the first place.
Does anybody else have anything they can do against poisons?
Heal
I mean,
check.
anyone can attempt a heal check against him.
Yeah, I will try, Cure Light Wound? Oh, just heal. Got it.
Yeah, it's a poison, so just be a heal. With a 10, the party rushes in seeing Maverick choking on this gas, and
I could aid another for +4.
as
Yeah,
quickly as it rushes out of the zombie, it dissipates to a foul-smelling and gross, but overall harmless, thin mist. So, Rena, you are able to immediately rush over and help treat Maverick. So, Maverick, make me another fortitude save, but you do have a plus, I think it's 4 for treating poison from Rena's assistance.
That's an 11.
Unfortunately, there's only so much you can do against inhaled gas, and you lose another point of charisma.
Oh no.
Make me another fortitude save with the +4 for being assisted.
Come on, Maverick, you got this. You can only be so pretty. That's a 13.
With a 13, still, you cough trying to get out of your lungs. You lose another 2 charisma. And-
So it's another 2 now?
In addition, so you're at -4 total now.
Okay.
And you can put these all in the temp modifier rather than actually changing your stat. So
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
okay, just making sure. And then make me another fortitude save against the ingested gas, the +4.
Ian's getting pale, starting to get black lesions all over his face.
She
This is
cutty!
terrible.
She
Come on,
cutty!
come
She
on,
cutty!
come on.
Yay!
Yeah,
Yay.
17.
And with a 17 and a last final hacking cough, as a dark phlegm escapes you. You don't feel great, but you feel like the contents of this zombie are going to have no further effects against you.
My ancestors patrolled the dreaded swamps far to the south. This is nothing.
You go from 12 to 8. At least you had 12 charisma to start with, so you went down to 8 instead of 6. So you're not just like now you're just very uncharismatic.
I look like I've had a dangerous past.
He is, even after the few seconds, and what was realistically 30 seconds of trying to attend to him and help Maverick as he coughed, this has had a terribly visible effect on his person. And he's gone from a relatively attracted elven rogue to, well, the opposite of that, a relatively unattractive elven rogue. And just looking at him makes you mildly uncomfortable now. But
It's startlingly unattractive.
no, he said 8's not startlingly unattractive. That's like a 6 or a 7. But
Eight's just kind of and then you swipe.
yeah, I have the ability score page open. 8 is you make people mildly uncomfortable with your presence. So otherwise, the good news is at least that it wasn't Rena eating that, because Rena being down 4 charisma would be a lot worse than you being down 4 charisma.
Actually,
You probably would have made the charisma saves a lot sooner. The fort saves, though.
if you want, maybe my potion will help you.
We'll make you temporarily pretty again, Maverick. Just drink the potion, forehead. -4/+4.
The one the priestess gave us.
Yeah.
Yeah, with 4 damage to your charisma, the party starts to realize how much of an edgelord your backstory was. Oh. Well, what now, party?
All right. We got another hallway to check.
We detect.
Is there anything else in this room?
Oh yeah, great. Let's see what else the freaking hallway has.
I am not playing with the nasty room.
So if you want to, or is anyone going to walk in and check the disgusting room?
I gotta get something out of this.
Yeah.
So
I'm trying to sound like actual, like someone who's just had like their throat stripped.
I
not
smoked
like
a pack a
Batman.
day for 26 years.
I'm trying not to sound like
Like your
Batman.
name is Nancy and you've smoked a pack a day for the last 40 years.
That's it.
Yeah, and you need a trach. Somebody trach this man.
What do I find?
Was anyone else gonna go in with some light for him, or you could pull out your
Yeah.
own torch?
Yeah, I'll go in.
All right, so you guys head into the room to check it out, and inside, again, you see frescoes of endless, heaping feasts. Tables overburdened to the point of being off-putting with food that doesn't even look that appealing. Morbidly, disgustingly obese figures gorging themselves around the outsides of this room. And the smell of the zombie is almost overwhelmed by the rotting meat spread on cabinets and tables throughout the inside of this chamber.
Jeez.
Quick question. Is there any, like, religious equivalent in this world to the 7 deadly sins?
That would be a knowledge something check. I think knowledge history, because let me go back and check. There's definitely a DC for that. That would be a knowledge history. Dick, with your 18, you were busy pulling out your steps and didn't really notice it in the first room. And now you look around and think about this. Yes, there absolutely is a glaring analog to the 7 deadly sins. But it's very much the other way around. Before it was Varesia, but after it was Cyclopean land, this was a realm known as Thassalon. And the Thessalonians worshipped 7 sects of magic. And those do have a direct analog to our 7 deadly sins. Now, they were ruled by something called the Rune Lords, one of them personifying the pinnacle of each of these 7 schools of magic. And these 7 crypts do seem to be absolutely dedicated to one of the Rune Lords each. This clearly being the Chamber of Gluttony.
Let's see, we got gluttony, we got lust,
Yeah, the first chamber with the Tegu was the Chamber of Greed.
greed.
And the second chamber that was full of illusion was the House of Pride.
Pride, yep.
The third door with the ring in it was the House of Sloth.
Sloth?
And then there's obviously the House of Lust. This is the House of Gluttony, and the destroyed room is the Home of Wrath.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which means that the last chamber you can't get into must be the House of Envy. With
Duh.
a ridiculous
can't
lock
get
on the
in.
door.
Ooh!
Maverick will just kind of hawk a chunk of probably bloody phlegm and just kind of spit it onto the wall and then kind of walk
And
out.
as you spit, you do notice on the top, in some of the meat, right between some disgusting lumps on a table in front of you, there do appear to be 2 small black gemstones.
Huh. He'll examine them.
Detect magic?
They do not register as magical, but you can give me a praise. With a 19, these 2 small onyx stones are probably worth about 50 gold apiece. They're not that small. They're about thumb-sized onyxes.
Huh.
They'll fetch a decent price.
All right, we'll take them.
Are you done playing in the plague room?
I was
Anybody else from the southern end of the hallway? Can we leave? He's all the way
Yeah.
down here.
I think we're about done here. So, okay, I get what's going on now, but it still doesn't. I mean, clearly the passageway explains why stuff is going missing, because people are getting in a way that the priests don't know about.
Yeah, so we should probably report that. That would definitely be something that they'd want to know about.
I wonder if there's any history with this particular group of priests of this religious order, or whether or not maybe this is older than even the structure that exists on top of it now, like maybe a forgotten sect of this religion.
A lot of the features of Karamaga and the mountain it sits upon are almost like a glimpse through time as you descend. The upper level, of course, is a modernized city, and the first few sub-levels of the labyrinthine halls below mostly see use now. But as you go deeper, you get into first Thessalonian ruins and deeper Cyclopean. It would be an easy assumption with the checks you've made so far that this ossuary was originally Thessalonian.
All right, well, do you guys want to go deeper and see what else we can find?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a good idea. But sorry. But,
They get the cancer back.
yeah, we can keep going. I'm good. But do either of you?
Are you the most sensitive of all the
I'm the most
Batmans?
sensitive of all the Batmans. Do either of you know if the cult of Plasma was here interring bodies during these ancient times, or if it was a different cult that put these bodies here?
That
Well,
would be a little bit of a more difficult knowledge history.
I'm asking, so I don't know.
I mean, from what we found out so far, it would make sense that their current religious organization is more of a genesis, an evolution of what's happened to the city since then, and that there might be small elements of what used to be, but that the core of it probably doesn't exist anymore. Just
I should say that I doubt this is the area that the bodies were being taken from. I assume
makes sense.
that this area just happens to be here and they didn't tell us about it.
They did seem kind of tight-lipped.
Did not want to give you a lot of information, no.
Well, we should probably explore more then.
I mean, this will make a great chapter in my autobiography, Principles of Lust.
Or at least a footnote, depending on how you want to put it. So, where are we heading? Still
Farther
have a whole
in.
lot of options. before you.
Down to Goblin Town.
That was the name of basically my version of Mega, back in the place I used to live where I grew up in Idaho. Goblin Town was our game store.
Well, if you've ever seen Bass Rankin's Hobbit, you will know that that is like pretty much the best
So if
song
you guys
ever.
want to just arrange yourselves here at the bottom of the hall in your like marching order, then I can just drag all of the tokens at once and I can just move us all down the hall. So set yourselves however you want to be as you proceed down these narrow hallways.
I vote for Mr. Kick-Ass Vaughn, Swordman, to be in front, and I'll take up the rear so that we've got 2 light spells
Yeah, that
on
sounds
each
good.
side of the party.
And it goes along with the song too.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So as you advance, this hallway seems to extend on quite a ways, running parallel to the 7 chambers of sins, before it reaches a set of stairs, descending down about 20 feet, question mark. I have to double check this, I forgot how deep they go. 10 feet. And then rising right back up again on the far side, leading down to a landing where the hallway curves to the left. So there's 2 places you could go.
Well, Dick, you would be the expert on things that curve to the left. What do you want to do?
Well, I would say
Whoops,
I have a
Windows
coin
nice.
we could flip.
If there's only one choice, how will flipping a coin help?
We got 2 choices. We could go back the other way.
You can go forward or right from here, and then there are still 2 doors in the entry chamber. There's a lot of ways you could go, actually. This is a surprisingly open dungeon.
We're going down.
Yeah, we never did check the greed room.
Don't check the greed room.
Okay.
What are we doing? What's the plan?
We're going down the stairs.
Flipping a coin.
Well, as you advance down the stairs, you can see that as the hallway turns to the right, the stairs descend another 10 feet to a landing, and then another 10 feet to a massive ornate door carved of marble.
Huh.
Well,
So that door is 30 feet below
According
the
to
hallway
them-
behind you.
We're here to clear the first floor. Once we're done with the first floor, we can come back and mess with anything deeper.
Spoken like a true priest of what's his face again?
Gorham.
Gorham.
I'm here to fight what I'm here to fight. That is not what I'm here for.
So we're going
On
to continue
to the other things.
down the hallway
I like a man who keeps his priorities straight.
and to another smaller intersection. Now there's a hallway and you're back up at the same level as the hallway before now. Again, to the left, the hallway turns going elsewhere. But straight ahead of you, it terminates in a small, round chamber. And there... Alright, give me a second. This is a weird description. So it's a fairly empty... It's not round, it's actually octagonal chamber. And on the eastern side, there is a suit of elaborate lacquered armor
Ooh.
leaning up against the far wall. There's silver chains attached to the armor's neck and chest that then proceed to drag across the floor of the chamber to the northern side, where they end clutched in the bony hand of a desiccated skeleton.
Don't grab the chain. Got it.
I'm gonna detect magic this.
And with a casting of Detect Magic... Did I really not put that on my quick reference sheet? I built a quick reference sheet in the soundboard and didn't put Detect Magic on it. Am I a dumb idiot?
You fool.
With
You
a
expected
quick
us to not have it.
swing... Well, I made it more forward for the crowd, where I don't bother playing the sound that much anymore. With a Detect Magic, there is no magic emanating from anything in this chamber ahead of you. And it is a 60-foot range, so you can detect the whole chamber. It's like twice as far as that, honestly. Give me a knowledge local if anyone has it.
One of us is. I think it's Deke.
I think Dick's got it, yeah.
I am
Stop
the most.
rolling 20s. What the hell?
I am the most knowledgeable.
Dick
person
knows
I've-
everything.
I know everything. I
You
am very smart.
you would recognize this intricate armor styled in a way favored by a group called the Iridian Fold. They're not from Karmaga or even Varesia. They're foreigners, believed to be from Kazmaron. They're not even from the Inner Sea regions. That's the continent out to the east of Taldor. And they always travel in pairs. One with that strange, intricate armor, and the other swathed in veils and cloths, leading them by chains.
So I wonder which one of them died first.
Is the armor worth any use?
It does look like it is very finely made. It's certainly masterwork, but it's not magical. And to the side of it, there is another exotic, well-made hand-and-a-half sword. A masterwork bastard sword on the ground.
Mage hand, try to pick it up.
You can... The sword?
Mm-hmm.
So with a quick spell, you pull the Masterwork Bastard sword out of the room and towards the party. It's gently curved almost, like an overlong, thin scimitar, and very finely made. Not a style that's produced very commonly in the inner sea regions.
This is beautiful.
Probably fetch a good price.
Indeed.
I should say, is it better than some of the swords?
Bastard swords are exotic, so it's unlikely that any of you have the proficiency to wield
Well,
it. That
they're
said,
martial and exotic.
you
Yeah,
can
the
use it as
martial
a two-handed
two.
weapon, but it's kind of just a worse greatsword if you're wielding it two-handed.
Yep.
Yeah, tier
The
1
whole-
have the +1 to hit from the masterwork. He could use it and take the hit on damage.
I can't use it.
Really? You don't have martial proficiency?
Yeah, cleric's not martial.
Oh yeah,
proficiency.
you're a cleric. You probably have a sword.
He only has a greatsword because it's Gorham's favorite weapon. But yeah, it is masterwork. I don't think any of you can wield it, but it would give you the plus
But it'll
one
fetch a
attack.
nice
It will
price.
fetch a nice price.
Money! So it is about £6.
That's no problem.
Yeah, which I'm pretty sure Tyrion could just sling that over his back and be happy and move on.
I guess we could take a look at the mummified figure with the robes on it. Does it have any kind of ornaments or anything else?
Maybe a perception check looking at it. With a 10, it's not mummified. That was the description of how these usually are. It is a blank skeleton. There's in fact no sign of any sort of clothing or anything that this may once have had, not so much as dust.
Huh. Fair enough. Alright then. I doubt the armor can really be carried with us conveniently, so...
It would be very heavy and difficult.
What
Yeah.
about the silver?
I mean, is the armor something that I would consider wearing?
It is functionally, it's not quite full plate. It is banded mail. So it is masterwork banded mail. I don't know what you have right now. Let me look
Hide.
at banded mail. I think banded mail is probably. Well, I mean, it's heavy. It's not medium. It is actually full heavy armor. Of overlapping strips of metal, basically. It's like the step before full plate, pretty much. I don't know if any of you have. I don't think anyone in this party has heavy armor proficiency.
Nope.
Unless the cleric...
Or martial weapon proficiency
That's
for that
domain.
matter.
No, but what about the silver chain?
The silver chains are attached to the armor.
Well, the armor's not going anywhere. We can leave it here till we're ready to leave.
Okay.
Yep, no, sounds good.
So, are we going to continue onward?
Yeah.
Yep.
So leaving that with a neat bastard sword, but otherwise leaving the room undisturbed, you continue
I mean,
onward to.
We don't know who that sword's parents were, but we're gonna touch it anyway.
You continue to a full four-way junction. There is an open set of double doors, massive stone covered in runes, hanging fully wide, swung inward to your left. A hallway to your right with a door on either side, and the northern hallway leading to a T intersection with two more passages.
I perception these open doors just to see. I don't know if there's like a lot of dust down here or anything, but if they've been opened recently or if there's anything like around
I
here.
also forgot there's definitely. I missed one thing here. This door is. This room over here to the left is most definitely illuminated. It is very
okay,
visibly illuminated.
Okay, well I guess I don't really need to roll perception.
There's not actually torches, but I just have that as a giant torch. I just have that as a light emanating token already, so I can just use it again.
I guess we'll peer around the corner.
Give me
and
one
look at-
second. I'm just trying to put all these little tiny torches in here so it doesn't look like there's torches everywhere. They're going to be very tiny torches. Ignore them. You don't see them. As you look into this room, it's a long, oval-shaped chamber. By far one of the biggest you've seen in the Ossuary so far. This would actually be, by a large margin, the biggest chamber you've seen in the Ossuary so far. Floating balls of fire illuminate the room, two on each end. And the walls are covered with a bewildering array of runes, sigils, and glyphs. Beneath the carvings on the floor, or in recesses and the walls, stacks of engraved stone tablets rest undisturbed and untouched by dust.
Now this is a jackpot.
Are there any corpses in this room?
There are no bodies.
Huh.
There's not even any furniture.
Go take a look at the stone tablets.
I could.
Yeah, I mean, I'll wander over and take a look at them.
I should. Is there any magic? Seems to be fire.
You can. Oh, you don't have to detect magic actually.
I do not know.
Nope, you don't.
I used detect magic on the stone tablets.
Oh, you're using detect magic on the stone tablets. The stone tablets do not register. Oh, I lied to you. They would have a very minor aura of probably transmutation.
Anything else in my detect magic area coming up?
Across the walls of the room, all the various runes and sigils would nearly all have minor magical signatures from all the schools of magic.
So if I did Knowledge Arcana, would I be able to?
The problem is this appears to not just be magical writing so much as it is a language, and it's a language that none of you have. So it would take a linguistics check to be able to start to figure out what's going on here. You can give me an Arcana check, though.
I do not know much about this room.
7 and a 9, neither of you have much idea what's going on here. But, our buddy Tierm is bored. This is a room of magic and learning.
Is there anything that looks valuable in this room that we could pocket and take with us?
He already moves to leave because he doesn't care about what's going on here. In a flash, one of the runes detaches itself from the wall entirely. And as it does, a wash of fire. No, you were there. A wash of fire erupts out from it as the sentient sigil mobilizes an attack.
Whoa.
Roll me some initiative. And in the surprise round, I need a reflex save from actually just Rena. It just barely doesn't reach anybody else as a gout of fire erupts out.
We were not expecting this.
It worked out really well, though.
17.
Okay. Let me find its thing real quick. With a 17, you are able to duck out of the way of this most of the blast of fire as it passes by. But you are still singed, taking 4 damage. And I don't have somebody's Maverick. You don't have your initiative on the table yet.
I rolled it. I rolled terribly though, so I'll roll again.
If you don't have your token selected when you roll it, it won't put it on the table. But let me just add you, and then you should be able to put it in. And I haven't rolled for this little thing yet. This little thing got. Okay. All right, Dick. What's your initiative modifier?
5.
And it is going to act first. And as everyone moves to respond to this thing, having washed Rena in flames, it floats over towards the door, blasting another shot of fire through the doorway. I need saves from Maverick and Dick.
Okay, reflex saves, yeah?
Reflex saves, yes. Both of you, having just watched the first blast of fire surge out, are more than ready for the second. And you you each take 3 damage, minimizing your exposure to the cone of fire.
Wish I were level 2! Do you want me to modify my health, or are you going to do that?
You can do it. You should be able to change your own. I mean, if you want me to, I can. Dick! You're up first. Do you have knowledge engineering?
Yes.
Alright, give me what you know about this tiny sigil. It's nothing. You've never seen anything like this. You've never seen words attach themselves to the walls and start attacking you.
Ron, I've never seen anything like this before. I have no idea what it is.
Shoot it with lasers!
I have never seen this in my life, and I know some of the others are more experienced with, like, more exotic things, you know, back in the group. I'm gonna wait until I see an effective way to go after this.
You hold to see what the party does. Rena!
Well, it just lit me on fire, and I don't take kindly to that.
It is definitely just spewing a cone of flame, like a flamethrower flying around the room, emanating from this floating sigil.
Okay. So I'm gonna step here.
Okay.
And I'm going to, see if physical damage will hurt it, and I'll throw a crossbow bolt into it. In this edition, is that a full action? Can I also use a cantrip? A cantrip?
It is a standard, and using a cantrip is a standard, so you
Okay.
can't do both. But
Okay.
you can shoot it as a standard, and with an 8, it's difficult to track the tiny target, as this rune is only the sigil's only a few inches across through the gouts of flame spewing through. So your bolt does not connect. And then you can still use the move action to reload your crossbow, but you can't use the move action to cast a cantrip or anything. Maverick.
Okay.
Yeah, the crossbow bolt missed entirely, so you have no idea if hitting it with weapons is going to work, but it is like a continuous cone of flame. The damage you take represents the burning over like the 6-second round. It is a flying flamethrower.
It is a flying flamethrower.
All right. Crap. This thing's kind of tiny and hard to hit.
So's Dick.
Here. Soon. I want to get out and close the door, but then I lock Rune again.
A round is 6 seconds, so what is your reaction? What do you do?
All right, I will remember the hero. I'll 5-foot step in, remembering the heroic nature of my ancestors who went and conquered the goblin lands in the distant path to the north.
No fear!
And I'm going to take 2 attacks on them.
All right. No fear whatsoever. Start swinging. So
I'm a little fearful. I'm a little fearful, actually.
Some amount of fear. All right, so what are we swinging here?
I'm swinging that, and then I'm going to swing that.
So that is
and very miss.
Wait. A mace and your short sword with a natural 1 and 2 on the d20s for the attack roll. As you push through the flames here, you find it challenging to mount an offense while also, I mean, you made that 20 reflex save. Your focus is on staying out of the fire. It's hard for you to get your weapons up to strike at this tiny thing as it flies around. Tim, you hear gouts of fire and shouting and weapons are swinging. Gorham calls.
I'm going to move down to the bottom side of Dick. I'm going to yell.
I hate that sentence.
I'm going to yell at the idiot still in the room, "Get out!" And I'm going to ready a channel that will go off if they take another hit.
Okay, so if anyone takes any more damage, your channel is going to go off. Do you want to step in, Dick? Because you're holding still. Okay.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna draw another first reaction, just draw another bomb. Hope that it does not immune to fire.
Well, let's see how this does.
I hope I'm immune to fire.
So you just chucking a bomb in there at the room?
Yeah, I'm just
Just throw a bomb into the room. Maybe you attack roll. Okay, fight fire with fire. That's a saying, right?
That's totally a thing I've heard that happens. Oof.
Another natural 1. Wow. All right.
I'm going to die.
Roll me a d8. 1 is up.
D8. Okay.
With a 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Your bomb misses and splashes against the wall here. Fortunately for Maverick, far enough away that he doesn't get hit by the explosion. But that's actually one of the best possible things that can happen. The Rune Guardian is definitely still at the explosion. And,
it doesn't make a difference here, but 1 is always considered the square directly between the thrower and the throwee.
It's way easier to do 1 is up, and it doesn't mechanically matter because that's always the same direction.
Can I
don't know what your reflex DC is, but I'm positive the thing failed. And the fire does seem to singe away. Are your bombs considered magical? Like, Baylor, you're in chat. You get spell resistance against alchemist bombs. I'm pretty sure you don't. I'm gonna say you don't, and that your fire surprisingly singes away a decent amount of the floating stone room, charring it as it seems to slow a bit. Then yeah, you saw the move action. You don't have to 5 foot step. You can move,
Oh,
move if
okay,
you want
I
to.
can move action. I don't like this thing. I'm gonna move.
Yeah, back out around the corner. The tiny floating stone is going to float down over to here as it continues its attack, which does provoke an attack of opportunity from Maverick.
I'll take what I can get. Wallop it.
And with a 23 from your mace, that's way better than the previous one. So you just need to have AOs. You catch this thing with your mace and knock some of the burnt chunks off of it, dealing 2 damage. But as it moves to here, it releases yet another gout of fire, which is going to trigger the channel after it goes off. So give me a reflex save, you and Rena. Maverick, again, as you've kind of focused on protecting yourself here, you duck under this flaming blast. And you are going to take half. And I need one from Rena. And with an 11, unfortunately, at the very end of this cone, the flames twirl somewhat unpredictably. And Rena is going to take 11 damage, and with that blast of flame, you see her go down.
Oh my
Maverick,
God.
you take
11.
5, and you're barely still standing.
Holy shit!
Holy crap!
That was a high roll. That was a very, very high roll. Now, after that, a pulse of holy energy comes out from Tyr, as if to counteract it, and everybody heals for 3. So, Rena, you're no longer unconscious, you're just prone. You kind of black out for a second, and then wake up on the floor, but it is your turn.
I'm gonna drink that there.
That was a 3, a 4, and a 4 on the 3d4 for that burning hands. I'm so sorry to everybody involved.
I'm prone. So I'm gonna get up and try to leave the room.
Okay, you can drink the potion. You can pull your potion out and drink it, but you'll stay laying on the floor there.
Yeah.
Well, you stay laying on the floor. That's your full round. It's a standard to find the potion in your bag and a move to drink it. Or
Okay,
you can use a
perfect.
move to stand up and a move to get out of the room.
I'm gonna drink the potion so I don't,
So, laying on the ground, you decide the most important thing right now is not passing out again because that fire hurts a lot. And
Yes.
you drink this potion. You can just roll d8 plus 1.
Okay, what is it? Backslash, roll.
You just click the dice icon on the top left side.
Yeah, you can
Oh.
either slash roll space 1d8 plus 1, or you can use the die roller thing up in the toolbar in the top left. It's up to you. So you heal for, it's plus 1, so you heal for another 3, bringing you back up to half health. And that is your full round to draw it and drink it. You can't 5 foot step, unfortunately, because you're prone. Maverick! The rune is starting to look fairly damaged. None of the rest of you have knowledge engineering, do you? I just kind of assumed you didn't, but
No.
didn't think so. Okay, you're up. Smacking it seems to be effective.
It does seem to be effective. Unfortunately, I don't seem to be able to hit it too well.
And yeah, it's a construct, so it also does not seem to be healed by the holy energy from Tim.
Crud. I can try to whack it and try to take it down. I can't back off because you didn't leave the room.
Give it some wax!
All right, I'm a 5 foot step here, so it has a harder time whacking.
Ooh, there you
hitting
go.
multiple people.
Try and stop the cone from encompassing all of you.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go ahead and try again to attack. Hopefully, I get lucky.
Alright. Hopefully, you've hit it 1 of 3 swings so far. So this one with a 13 on the mace is enough to connect. It's not particularly fast. It's just small and kind of hard to see. And as you turn around the corner with a 20 and 1 more damage from your short sword, what do you do? It had 1 health left after the mace hit, and it's a construct. It's dead at 0.
Yeah.
What do you do to it, Nick?
Rage!
All right. So let's see here. So I guess the mace swings it up and catches it underneath it. It'll kind of flip up, hit the ceiling, stop for a minute, and then kind of fall down. And the sword thrust will kind of pierce through it and pin it to the wall. And I just kind of stare at it, and then the rune kind of flickers and a little bit kind of stares back at me, and then the thing just kind of cracks and crumbles down into pieces onto the floor.
And on the floor it is left as a tiny pile of rubble and smoldering embers.
Jeez.
The room seems miraculously unharmed by the gouts of flame this thing is spewing constantly. Other than the remains of the thing itself, there's no charring or damage to any of the writings or structure of the room.
Do I see any other similar runes around the room?
The room is literally blanketed in all kinds of rooms. It would be impossible to quickly identify if there were more of them.
I told you to get out.
We're leaving.
So, we're just gonna get up and just quickly get out of the room. God damn it, I'm trying to keep you not stagnant. Quickly get up and move out of the room here. And I imagine, I take the liberty of assuming that you are shutting that door behind you.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
we are.
Yes, and we're gonna go ahead and seal off the floating doom sigil room and go off to do other things elsewhere.
I don't suppose you get any more of that nice healing light left, do you?
Got plenty. And I will
Yeah, that'd be nice.
hold up the symbol of Gorum. Actually, I'm gonna hold my fist up in the air with the ring and channel it through my fist.
Oh, nice.
All right, and with another pulse of holy power, everybody gets 4 more health back. Well, everybody, Maverick and Rena. And now you are feeling much better after fighting the sentient flamethrower.
Thank you.
Fist pump for Gorm. Fist pump for Gorm.
Do it, Gorm.
I mean, it makes perfect sense for Cleric of Gorm to do a lot of healing because you can't do more battling if you're dead, and Gorm just wants you to fight everybody. Wow, that was weird. Oh no, OBS, don't die. I think my computer... OBS is doing weird shit today. I would like you to stop doing weird shit, OBS. It just froze entirely. It's like when I disconnected earlier. It wasn't an internet thing, it was the OBS program froze for some reason.
Well,
It looks like
streams
it's...
okay.
Yeah, it looks like it's good now. It froze for a second, but it looks like it's good now. So the rest of you are now continuing upward to this T intersection. I just saw Tim start moving, and I just kind of assumed everyone was going to follow.
Up is good.
And
Is that a door?
as you reach here, you can see at this T there is a door to your left and a door to your right. The door to your left is immediately noteworthy. It is emblazoned with a strange 7-pointed star. That can I select you?
I'll bet you there's a winged snake monster behind that door.
Why can't I select it? Oh, here it is. It looks, I actually have a picture. It looks like this.
Oh, cool.
Huh.
It has a different color and a different sigil at the
Oh god,
end
Captain Planet's behind that door,
at the
isn't
end
he?
of each of the 7 points.
Well, this
Oh,
reminds
can
me
I
of
do
the
it now?
7 rooms.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
need either it's an arcana, a history, or a religion to identify what this object is.
14.
14 arcana.
I got a
You
22.
vaguely recognize it, but aren't sure what it is. Rena, with a 22, you would recognize this as the Sihedron rune, an ancient symbol representing the cohesion of the 7 schools of Thessalonian magic.
Yep. So it represents a cohesion of the Thessalonian magic we saw upstairs.
Is that the same star symbol that the winged snake statue thing had
Yes.
for a face?
Okay.
Yes, it is.
It seems like this entire annex then is going to be defined by that statue. I wonder if each of the original doors lead to a different annex from a different period.
It would make sense considering
Now,
how old this place is.
The heavy stone door here does seem to be locked and sealed with an almost gaping, as far as keyholes go, slot on either side of it.
Hey, you gonna put something in the slot?
I'm gonna leave the slot alone.
Probably like about finger-sized slots.
Mage hand?
And we're gonna continue down the hall, hopefully, and not mess with the sealed magic door.
Okay, no messing with the sealed
Well, we
magic
know
door.
the chime is a fake, so...
Yeah.
Yeah. The
So we
chime.
ignoring the sealed magic door, and then
Yeah, the cake is alive.
I think that they.
the
just
chime
gave-
is garbage. Forget the
They
chime.
just gave that to us to make us feel better.
There was no getting out of here through the front door.
They
They don't,
sent
have,
us.
if they don't have to pay you if you don't escape.
Exactly. Let's continue to what appears to be the end of the hall.
There is a door here as well.
Oh.
I know it's really.
Is this one a
it's
little less
dynamic
sealed?
lighting stuff? No, this is much more of the standard heavy wooden doors that have dominated most of the ossuary.
Whew, good. When we go,
All right.
we only deal with succubuses and trolls. Let's do it.
Kicking the door open.
And as it blasts open, the light reveals a humongous pit, 30 feet across, filling the vast majority of the room with only a narrow 4 or 5 foot ledge around the edge of it. The bottom of this pit is lost to darkness, even to Maverick's elven vision. The ceiling here arches up 20 feet above, much higher than the fairly cramped 10-foot corridors you've been walking through previously. And you can see a single door on the opposite end of the room. Over here, yes. Leading through further.
Well, this looks safe.
This looks
Yeah,
not
there
safe.
would surely be-
I disagree with your statement.
There will surely be no consequences for walking along that pit thing.
I'm going
you
to
go
tap
first.
at the hole with my greatsword.
As you tap on the edge, make me a perception check.
Disbelieve everything.
I always do.
With a 15, it's definitely a hole. And you hear the skittering legs of a creature crawling along the sides of it below.
Oh. Oh,
Back
I hate
up!
Out of
spiders.
sight.
Oh, I hate them.
Immediately going to say back up and
Well.
grab Maverick and throw him back out of the door.
Okay.
So you immediately, I imagine, slam this door shut with no interest in whatever is
No,
investigating.
I'm keeping it open.
Are you keeping it open? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We just want the hallway to back
Yeah,
us up.
we don't want to
Fair
be
enough.
near the edge of the hole. We're fighting whatever this is.
Yeah, it's pretty deep. It's down below. Majuna, thank you for the follow. You can't see any sign of it yet.
I'm gonna take out a silver piece,
Okay.
and I'm gonna fling it so that it kind of clatters along the edge, but I don't want it to fall into the pit.
Okay, so you just kind of toss it in a square.
Yeah, I
near
kind of want
the
to throw
edge
it like
of
over
the-
here.
Piece, I feel
it-
like a copper piece could have done the same.
Clatters onto the clatters onto the ground.
I don't have a copper piece.
Harmlessly.
Over.
You hear the sound of the skittering legs getting closer.
Oh, looks like
well-
It's ascending the sides of the pit, clearly.
I feel this would be a great time to leave.
Just get ready for it.
I'll pull a
Worst
dagger
case scenario, we can leave.
get it in my hand.
And as you all prepare yourselves,
I'm gonna throw some a flask of oil, like right here.
like just right in front of the door.
No, like on the same square where he threw the copper piece.
Okay, so like we're
You
talking
can hold if you want to ping.
Like right there.
Well, I threw
Oh,
the copper light. I threw the coin like up here.
Yeah,
so you're trying to throw it like up hereabouts.
yeah, up thereabouts.
Okay, so there's you throw a flask of oil down there, and as it bursts, the creature, attracted to the sound, ascends from the side of the pit here.
I'm
It
gonna
is a-
cast Spark.
Well, this is going to be initiative. This is a long, winding construct with an almost humanoid skull and massive mandibles, with a series of almost insectile pseudo legs formed by what look like ribs from an incredibly long, extended spine. This snake serpent, interested by whatever the sound is, heads for that first, but then sees the rest of you at the top of the pit.
What you're saying is it's a slithering gibberer from the combat dimension.
It is definitely a skittering something, and it is now coming for you, so it is initiative time.
I got 25.
That's weird. I didn't have myself selected, and it didn't put me in.
Yeah, you have to have yourself selected.
Oh, I have to have myself
Yeah, you
selected.
have to have yourself selected.
Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. So if I do it like that. Okay, cool. It worked.
Oops. I messed up my initiative roll because I'm bad. Okay. All right, and definitely ready and wanting to spark that oil. Rena, you're up first.
Yeah, I'm gonna cast Spark on the oil, see if I can catch the thing on fire before it gets to us.
I would say that oil is most certainly flammable, and you could definitely cast Spark on a small bit of oil there. So with a quick cantrip, you ignite the oil, and now it is not just a square that is slippery, it is a square that is aflame as this creature ascends. Now this, what knowledges do you have?
I got a dungeoneering.
Like me?
Yeah, well, any of you really.
I've got Arcana and crazy bullshit.
Okay.
I got nothing.
And do you want to do anything else? There's a standard action to cast a Spark cantrip.
I'll ready my crossbow.
All right, you can have your crossbow on ready, but you can't like actually ready it because that's also a standard action. I'm excited for Pathfinder 2 and everything's just actions. There's not even vision.
Drives me crazy.
All right, Dick, give me a knowledge engineering.
Okay. I don't.
With a 6, looking at it, you are confident this isn't actually an undead. It is a construct of some sort. And you don't get any questions, but it looks exceptionally dangerous.
I should say that this looks exceptionally dangerous. Okay, so then I would just pull. I think I might use a acid flask on this.
Okay.
I'll pull
So
out the
you
acid flask.
Pull out and throw an acid flask out towards this creature, and it is flat-footed, both because it hasn't acted yet and because it's actively climbing, so it's double flat-footed. It's 25 will definitely hit its flat-footed touch. If it didn't, I would consider running away immediately. And as the acid flask strikes it, it takes 6 damage, which seems almost utterly negligible to the creature.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
And as it ascends up onto the ledge, it is going to pass through these flames here. And go ahead and roll me a d6 for damage on this.
Sure.
It's just going to take a d6 fire damage for going through the ignited oil. It's going to take 4 more damage. Still seems almost entirely unharmed. And then continue moving around to get out of it towards the door. But it doesn't move quite all the way up into range. As it gets here, it extends upward, almost like a snake, a charmed snake dancing, and begins to...
This thing is massive then. Like, it's still coming out of the pit.
No, it's all the way out of the pit. It's probably like 6-7 feet long.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, it's not extending back all the way down the pit. No, that square is the whole creature. It's not just its head or anything. But it comes up and raises itself up like a dancing snake, about 4 feet off the ground, and splays its weird rib legs and starts to sway side to side. Everybody needs to make me a will save. 20 and a 23, a 19 and a 17. That is a good time to get fire, because anyone who failed was dazed for 2d4 rounds. But all of you
weird snake thing
are way too focused on the fact that this thing is not appearing to take a lot of damage to be distracted by its strange, swaying dancing. Oh man, that was a good one to full party high roll for sure.
If you want to undulate, you're gonna have to undulate a lot better than that.
You totally
Tim,
just walked the door. It's
you're
totally
up.
All right.
Oh, 2d4 rounds of dazes
finally
with bad
time.
times. You're not
I'm going-
uncontrollably horny. You're not dazed. It's time to hit something with a great sword.
I'm gonna 5-foot step forward, 2-handed destructive smite, just bringing it over my head.
You're gonna give it the everything. With a 19, as you bring your sword overhead and with your destructive smite, fill it with Gorham's mighty power. You slam.
That's a crit.
Oh, it's a threat. Yeah, for a sword.
A
Or
15
a great sword.
as
I
a crit
don't-
threaten.
I saw a 19. I'm retarded.
No.
Yeah, no,
What's funny is I thought it was horrible because sometimes the downside to roll 20s 3D dice is they're just literally complete lies because it's definitely a 1 and a 7, but that's not what it was.
I saw a 19.
it was definitely a 15 on the die. That's why we go by the chat log because
But
the engine kind of shows different
Destructive
people
Smite.
different things. But with Gorham's power, you bring your sword down on this creature with your destructive smite and give it some damage.
And lovings.
and inconvenience.
As you slam it with your greatsword, you do feel like it has some resistance to the slashing damage of your sword. It's not terribly effective against the creature's bones.
Oh, that did 12 because my strength modifier is not adjusted on the sheet for two-handing.
Okay, so it's 12. Is that including destructive smite? That is all of it? Okay.
Yeah.
So you feel like you did around half that. And with that strike, you do shatter through some of the creature's ribs, but it seems largely unaffected, as if it's still majoritively unharmed.
Can we please leave now?
Maverick.
All right, we're in this, huh? All right.
No, we don't have to be.
Can I stand here?
No. It is
Okay.
a 5-foot ring around the pit. It's nearly impossible to pass by an enemy taking up.
So if I can get to
it.
here,
I mean, if you could get there, you could stand here. Getting there is the problem.
I'm kind of good at cutting. So my family in their massive capital to the east was very crowded and very well populated. I'm used to cutting through crowds.
Oh my god, I'm gonna slap you. So hard.
Well, what do you do, though? Are you going to try to
So I'm
acrobatics past it? Because you can...
I'm going to acrobatics past it. Yes, I'm going to move
Okay.
here, and I'm going to go acrobatics to over here with
So-
a move action, with a 5-foot step and then a move action to get past it.
You cannot 5-foot step and take a move action.
You can?
You can only take a 5-foot step if you do no other movement during your
Okay.
turn. But you can try to move through it. To move through it, you're going to have to get an acrobatics check better than its CMD plus 5 for trying to go directly through it square. And if you fail, you get stopped in front of it and it gets a free swing angle.
Okay. Let's see. I don't know what its CMD is going to be.
Yeah, you don't know that. That's the risky part. So
Let's see what happens.
you go here and then you roll an acrobatics check to try and get past this creature. With a 22, it doesn't get you past, but I'm gonna say it's high enough that it doesn't give the creature an attack of opportunity either. So
Okay.
you're just stopped right there.
All right.
That's a move action.
There I be. So I guess side by side with my with Tyr, my friend here, I'm going to go and try to wallop it with my mace.
All right. So you can still swing the mace. You just can't swing both weapons. And swinging your mace with a 14, it is going to clatter harmlessly across the creature's bones.
Woof. Things
Rita.
tough.
I'll step up here and I will cast Virtue on our friend and give him 10 hit points.
Which friend? Tim or Maverick?
Tyrion.
Alright, so Tim, you have 1 temporary HP. You've been given a minor. You feel this power fill you, and you feel just a little bit more sturdy. Alright. Oh. I don't
I
know
think
if you-
that's all I
you
can
anything
do, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you have a move action, but you 5-foot step, so you can't like move anywhere.
Yeah,
Your
that's
crossbow's
fine.
already loaded, so I don't think there's anything else you can do really.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, Dick.
I'm going to 5-foot step, draw my crossbow, and load it.
All right, you pull that out and start to ready for whatever it is about whatever you're gonna be able to do this thing, because you got a little bit too many friends in range here.
I also don't know that it did all that much damage, and I only have so many bombs.
So you load up the crossbow bolt.
Yeah.
The creature finishes its oscillating dance and lunges down with its massive bony mandibles towards Tim. What is your AC?
16.
A 16. He is going to be able to get his mandibles around and crush fairly easily through your armor with great strength. terrifying strength, actually. You're going to take 7 damage. And I'm also going to need you to make a fortitude save. And with a 14, as it bites, you can feel your body almost start to lock up and shut down and freeze entirely. But at the edge of paralysis, through the glory of Gorham in battle, you power through.
I bleed for Gorham.
Well, it is your turn. Make him bleed for
And
Gorham.
so will you.
Yes.
Destructive smite again.
19 will absolutely connect, and that's a pretty good destructive smite you got there. So you slam him
And
again
that
with
is
his massive
17.
greatsword for 17, and again you feel like it's doing less than that. I feel like it's not a terribly effective weapon against the bone. But now the creature is finally starting to wear down. It's starting to look damaged. Maverick.
Huh. Alright. So, this thing is a little bit too wily for me to be able to get through it, it looks like. And without being able to flank it, I can't get my sneak attack off, so my damage is way less.
It is not a great situation. But you can slap it numerous
Just
times.
hit the bastard.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of what I'm gonna have to do. Alright, well, let's go get it. So, I've got short sword, and actually no, I don't have the short sword, I have the mace out. I guess mace and dagger, and I'll try to go ahead and wail on it.
All right. So you swing first with the mace, and with a 16, your mace will connect. And with this heavy bludgeoning weapon, it easily crushes through the skeletal structure of this creature, doing full damage.
That
So it
worked
takes
well.
5.
I actually don't have my dagger for. I do less than that.
And you,
That-
as a follow-up, you try to swing with the dagger, but using these 2 weapons simultaneously is fairly difficult, and your dagger swings wide.
Okay.
Rita.
I'm gonna cast Summon Monster.
Okay, you're aware that is a full round cast, so it's not going to complete until your next turn.
In that
So you
case,
Yeah, and if
fuck
summon
that.
monster is like a do it immediately or don't bother kind of thing, because it takes a while to get it out.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm going to cast Sanctuary on
I think it's only personal.
on me, on myself.
Sanctuary on yourself. All right, so with another spell, what is Sanctuary?
Sanctuary means he can't attack me without making a will save to meet my spell DC. If he fails, he can't follow through with his attack if he tries to attack me, and his attack is lost.
And it's not mind affecting, so that's cool. It would actually affect him too. That's a neat little spell you got there. Dick, the creature is wounded.
Okay, I have my arrow out, and I am going to. I know it's not going to be super effective, but I am going to try and aim for the weak points.
And you take a shot with the 13 and fire your crossbow, and it clatters harmlessly off of the creature's skeleton. Now, again, it strikes out, still trying to bring down this screaming warrior of Gorham in front of it with its massive jaws, and it strikes him again. It's seemingly not having very much difficulty landing blows on the cleric. And with another 7 damage, your cleric of Gorham goes down, and the creature turns to Maverick. So, Tim, you are at dying 1. So I'm still going to keep using 2E death rolls forever because I don't like 1E death rolls. So with a 2 on your death save, you continue to bleed out to dying 2. Maverick.
I got your back.
And I'll catch all you guys up real quick. We use the 2nd edition death rules from the playtest because they're amazing and I love them. When you go down, there's no negative health at all anymore. When you go down, you go to dying 1. You make a flat d20 roll every round. DC 10 plus your dying value. If you fail, you get 1 more dying. If you pass, you go down 1 dying. If you get to 0 dying, you're unconscious and stable. If you get to 4, you die.
Okay.
Other things can affect that, like if you're healed, you still regain consciousness immediately. If an enemy attacks you, you immediately gain 1 dying. If you went down to a crit, you start at dying 2. So like there's some modifiers that basically it means it's almost impossible to get insta-gift. Unlike regular Pathfinder, where it's very easy to get insta-gift.
Right. Okay. Let's see. With this thing having dropped Gorham,
I'll take care of him.
and it's focused on me, I'm gonna have to see if I can draw it away to give the rest of the party time to go and try to get Gorham back up. So I'm gonna take disengage. I think that's a standard action and means he can't attack me opportunity. Or
Yeah,
actually, I think-
withdraw, it means you can make up to a double move, and you don't provoke from the square you're currently in. So he doesn't seem like he can reach further than you can with your weapons, so you can withdraw away from him safely, and he won't be able to swing at you.
Okay, perfect. So double my movement. Let's see.
So you can move up to 60. You can get real scooty.
Yeah, so I can actually like get all the way over
Yeah,
here.
you can get all the way around the edge of the circle. So we can put you there. We'll just say that's clearly on the. Well, let's do this. Whatever. We'll just put you on the edge. However you want to do it. You fall back, protecting yourself, and make your way around the outside of the room. Rena.
Yeah, I don't want him to be able to get me though, if possible. Like,
There's-
get him here.
Okay, there is still that burning oil up in the corner here, of course, with what that icon is. But
He didn't really seem to care about it too much.
I mean, he took 4 fire damage.
I'll go ahead and cast Cure Light Wounds on our cleric.
Okay, and with the manifestation of your incomprehensible magic,
My incomprehensible awesome is what you mean.
Tyr gains D8 plus 1 health.
Okay, give me a sec. Alright, here we go. D8.
2. He gains 2 health. He's
That's
conscious.
so lame. I hate it when it does that.
But you
Well,
are auto-stabilized, so that's
Well,
good.
yeah, he is stable and he is conscious, actually. He is awake, prone at 2. Blacked out for a moment in glorious battle and wakes up with this creature turned away from him.
At least now he can chug his healing potion.
True. And you are now at Wounded 1. When you get picked up from dying, you get a status called Wounded that stays until you rest, and it gets added to your dying if you go back down again. So each consecutive time you go down, it gets more and more dangerous.
So,
And then you have a move action if you want to go anywhere. You what?
Rena has dying one as well.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot about that. Rena definitely has dying one. She did go down. She went down for less than a round, so I literally didn't even space that she actually went down to dying because you're ready to actually brought her back up. So, do you want to move anywhere, Rena? Because you have a full move action left.
I'll move there and hope that he fails his will save and tries to come after me.
Not a bad idea. Dick.
Well, I was going. I nearly dropped my crossbow to get a bomb, and then immediately pick it back up. and I shoot another one. And
Stop
shoot
moving.
another-
What are you doing?
Sorry, I didn't mean to do it.
Okay.
My clicker got stuck on the thing and it wouldn't get off of it.
Oh, yeah, that happens real tight sometimes. So you take another shot with your crossbow, and with a 12, once again, the bolt clatters harmlessly against the creature. It turns to face Rena as she enters the room, and moves to attack her. What is the will save on your sanctuary?
Will save is gonna be my spell save DC, which is
If you
16.
if you just click sanctuary, it'll put it in chat with your DC and everything too. For future reference with this, it does everything. It's really neat. And as it lunges forwards to attack, its mandibles wide, ready to rend you in half, it seems to pause, unable to continue for whatever reason. Because yeah, that's like not mind affecting or anything. I don't think he's immune to that. It's just an abjuration.
God goes no.
Yeah, God says no.
The Pope of Nope says nope.
And the sanctuary expires. Tim.
Going to wait.
Does the sanctuary expire? How long is it?
It's 1 round per level. It technically was over already before he swung, but I gave it to you.
Oh.
Tim is going to bide his time on the ground. Maverick.
Let's see here. Well, let's see. I'm gonna go move my 30 feet. 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna stop right there.
Backside of the fire.
And I'm gonna whip my dagger into the back. Since I'm flanking now within 30 feet, I can actually get my sneak attack.
I think so. That sounds right to me, yeah.
Yeah, it's correct.
I know there is things with sneak attack and range, but like I've literally never had a player that used that.
I used it on Dinky.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, this
So-
thing is definitely not immune to that. Contracts are outright immune to fort saves and like mind affecting and stuff, but that's a will save. It's not mind affecting. He's outright immune to that. That's crazy to me. Or not immune to that. That's crazy. That was actually works on constructs. That's so cool. Anyway, throw your dagger. So you can use the ranged attack button. Oh, you have an attack already set up for it.
Because I'm using my dex anyway.
Okay, fair enough. And as you throw this dagger through the air, it's kind of difficult, I guess, to keep yourself balanced on the edge of this pit, but put enough momentum behind it to throw it accurately. And it sails by the thin, wiggly creature. Rena.
I'll step in.
Oh, then Tim.
Just gonna channel.
You channel positive energy?
Yes.
All right, and let some of Gorham's healing power fill you. Not really your healing power, your manifestation of your faith. And 4 health to everyone who's missing any health.
Yay!
All right.
Playing it
And
safe from the ground.
You gonna stay there?
Yep.
Okay, Rena, now it's you.
I'm casting Sanctuary again.
So if you're in melee, you can do that if you have another casting of Sanctuary.
I
But
do.
you have to try to cast it defensively, or you have to give him a free attack against you. And casting defensively is a concentration check. It's hard to cast in melee because you have to
I
focus
get
on
it.
the motions and everything in a spell.
DC 17, I think, for level 1.
Yep, it's 15 plus double the spell level, so it'd be a DC 17
Just
concentration
like your
check.
Magnus, except without the build for all the concentration. Or you can
Yeah.
5 foot step away from him.
You could just 5 foot step away from him. You could also do that. That's where I was going.
Yeah, I'll 5 foot step away from him,
All right, and then you can cast Sanctuary there completely free.
and then I'll cast Sanctuary.
So once again, you expending another use of your magic. How many first level spells do you have? Was that all of them? You can't have that
No,
many.
I have 5. And I've
Oh, you
used
did a
1 Cure Light
bunch.
Wound, 2 Sanctuaries.
Nice. Fair enough. You have a bunch of them, actually. And protect yourself again. Dick!
Okay.
You see the pulse of energy come from Tim on the ground, and you know he is at least awake.
Okay, yeah. So he's awake, and I am going to as I can't actually see how far back Rena moved. So
Yeah, she moved out of sight.
She moved out of sight, so I couldn't actually tell. So I'm going to get a bomb, regular bomb out, and chuck it.
And
I dropped
this
the bow.
thing needs to be gone now. Drop the crossbow to the ground. It's useless. Throw a bomb at this thing. You could stow it. It's a move action. You could spare the move
Oh,
action.
okay. Well, I guess I could throw it.
With a 14 against the thing's touch AC, the bomb connects. Tierm, make me a reflex save.
Or get bombed.
It's getting
You're
bombed regardless. It's how bombed is the question. And with a 9, as this bomb explodes overhead, you take 4 damage from the splash of Dick's explosion.
We have like a little halfling.
But, Dick,
It's a good thing I channeled.
what do you
Yeah,
do?
right?
What do you do, Dick?
So I just drop a crossbow. I ain't got no time for
It's
that
not a
stupid
crossbow.
crossbow.
Yeah. It's good a crossbow.
Yeah. So and then I swing back, right, run the bomb along the ground. It lights it, and I chuck it. And as I chuck it, it actually just it's got some oil inside of the bomb, and as it hits, it kind of splashes down the whole thing, and it just bursts into flame and just kind of cinders away.
It just falls finally motionless, clattering down in a pile of ribs and vertebrae to the ground. Still fully connected as a single entity. Now lifeless.
A lifeless boner.
Fuck you, Paizo, for putting a random CR3 encounter in the middle of a level 1 dungeon.
Holy crap.
Yeah, no, we handled it.
You did it! You beat it! That's one of the terrible TPK concerns off the list.
Was it DR5?
It was DR5 bludgeoning, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
it's
I
just a
actually
whole
did a
ass
pretty good
CR3 construct in the middle of this dungeon.
No, I just wanted to make sure I was actually doing damage.
You were. It was only DR5, not 10. So
We
just-
have smart builds and we're playing them smart. It's okay.
it hits so hard against level 1 characters. 7. Like, okay.
I mean,
But-
I handled it.
I mean, had literally any of you failed the initial will save,
We
Out of
just
the fight.
That
Done.
might have been a loss. 2d4
Yeah.
dazed is you're gone. Like
Save or
that's,
suck.
that's a really hefty save.
Well,
or suck
you can be
against
knocked
level
out of it,
ones.
can't you?
No, it's dazed. It's not
Oh.
fascinated. It's dazed.
Yeah.
Oy.
I don't know why it's not fascinated, but it's dazed.
So I'm gonna pump out 2 more channels.
As this creature clashes ground, you are the only one wounded for what it's worth. Everyone else is in peak condition
Why don't
after
you
your
just use
previous check.
yourself?
Yeah, I could just give
I
you
mean,
a
I have a lot less spells than I have channels.
That's what I'm just saying. Across the party, you have
No,
several
use
cure
your
light wounds
potion.
potions and stuff, and you're the only person who's hurt. But if you
Yeah,
want
I'll
to channel,
just
I'm
drink
not
a
saying you
potion.
can't channel. 2.
Man, these potions are trash.
They gave you a bomb chime of opening. It doesn't do
Yeah,
anything.
and
They gave you a
coke-
bunch of garbage potions. But with a pair of healing potions, you bring yourself back up to fighting fit, ready to continue to please Gorham. This is a damn, what's that joke? A stupid drink that has like no flavor.
LaCroix.
These are the Croy brand healing potions.
Oh God.
That's what you got.
That's the healing potion.
Oh my goodness.
So, surviving.
I'm gonna take my silver piece back.
I need this. This is
Get back my dagger. Does the thing have any? I doubt the thing has any like treasure on it. But is there anything on it that looks like it might be like an animating jewel or something valuable that's a piece of it?
Only if you're in any way interested in a huge pile of bones.
The question isn't
You
am
can't-
I interested? It's do I have a buyer?
Inspecting it, it does appear like Dick would have known from looking at it and what you could see from closer inspection. It's not an undead. This isn't like an animated body of something. This is more of a construct. It's a golem of bones strung together with ligaments and small mechanisms to animate the thing.
I'll take some samples of it. I mean, there could be interested buyers who are just interested in the components of it.
Never hurts. And you could definitely take like the head and the
Yeah.
actuated mandibles that move
Yeah,
from a
those
series
are super
of
cool.
small swivels and pivoting joints underneath the jaws.
Nick, can you please write down that we got head?
You got head.
All right.
At
And,
this point,
value
I'm
off.
gonna work my way around the room. I am thoroughly done with this thing.
I also had no plan for how long we were gonna go today, so if at any
Yeah,
point
we've
any
been
of you like it is
Yeah, it's
getting
like
kind of
10:30.
late.
That's
So
that's
like
bus.
that
It's a pretty good buzz.
glorious battle there does seem like it would be a fantastic time to end this particular adventure. And
This
we
was
can
so
leave.
much fun.
Yeah, I'm having a great time with this. We can leave this if you guys want to do it again at 7 next week,
Yeah.
which is 7 Eastern, chat. We will continue our adventures into
Down the pit of
Godsmouth
despair.
Heresy. We found some
Okay.
interesting Thessalonian chambers and artifacts. We have fought the sex zombie and the opposite of the sex zombie. You guys got attacked by a floating word. This sprays lots of fire. And at the end of the
Works
day,
just fuck you. That's all it is.
nobody's
Also,
died.
For all the fucking things we fought, I didn't get to do any of my stuff against undead.
Yeah, you fought actually only one undead so far. The fat zombie's the only undead you fought.
You closed the door on it, so really, that's your fault.
I mean,
Yeah.
mostly you've just been physically and mentally raped the whole session. I kind of bad.
I mean, I'm
he's-
doing my job. I'm the front line.
he pleased
Yeah,
himself and then he
great.
pleased Gorham. So
How
I
do you
mean,
only have 16 AC.
he
oh
did
my
everything
God.
he came here to do.
Because I don't have a shield.
Yeah, the
he's
joy of
yeah,
Jamming.
yeah, he's
I
up
don't
there
have
to
a
smash.
shield.
You also have a
You-
bunch of decks.
As an alchemist, you actually get crazy high AC
I
because
have
you
21. I don't know. I'm like, I should
you
be
have
in your-
really high dex. You have more dex from a mutagen. You have natural armor from your mutagen. Like, as long as you
Yeah.
wrap this up in an hour and you get to keep the mutagen, yeah,
I
your
think-
AC is really high.
I think
actually.
Beat should be our new tank.
I agree.
Just stands in the front, throws bombs on his feet, and tries not to die.
Throw the halfling.
So
We're gonna clean your windows.
I'm a human wearing medium armor with no shield and no buffs.
it's not 16 AC is not bad for level 1. Even the Necrophidius you just fought only had 15. 16
I
is
feel
not.
fucking terrible. I don't have 20 plus AC right
Well,
now.
the Necrophidius is the only thing you've fought that had any decent shot of hitting you. The lust spawn was okay. The lust spawn hit you on like a 13, I think. but she only got to swing once, and she just happened to get it. Necrophidius was like freeloading you. It was like a 65% hit chance. And then the spitting rune was just burning hands, so it was reflex saves, so just infinity burning hands machine. So
are we leveling or what?
no, you're definitely still level 1.
You guys, you suck.
We're gonna be level 1 for this whole
thing.
thing.
It's a sad place. You will be level 1. There is no leveling up, and there is no opportunity to rest unless you can come up with something creative. And if you haven't addressed the source of what's happening here, that could just make the situation worse. Really, it is a module that is fully intended to be done in one stretch by level 1
Why don't we just keep
adventurers.
going then? It's all a
Because
stretch.
it's late as
we gotta
fuck.
go.
Yeah, I've gotta
we'll
go.
do it later. So, chat, we'll continue this next week. Thank you for hanging out, guys. I think we got most of the technical stuff largely sorted here.
Oh, that one question mark in the stream title, wherever it went, that was because he expected that to fucking eat us.
I actually totally thought the necrophage was gonna kill him.
Next time on
Goodbye.
Because of Certain Death.